Republic of Football. For the day. The Republic of Football. That brings you live updates. Like live updates. Like as I'm talking, doing the intro, if a goal comes, I will interrupt the intro and bring you the updates. That's how it is. Happening now is Burnley versus Chelsea at Turf Moor. It's 74 minutes played. Chelsea lead by 1-0. Republic of Football is live on City Sports GH on YouTube. It's also live on 97.3 City FM on radio. We're live on Channel 1 TV. Also live on X or Twitter, 97.3 City FM. We'll be getting into the action and what's happening in a bit. Yao Jamita is here. Manuel Kwache is here as well. Coach Christopher Nimley will join us in a bit. Let me get into opening pleasantries with my gentleman. Manuel, welcome to the show. Yao, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's get into it. Good weekend of football activity so far. International break ending, football coming back. It's always it's a little weird phasing back into club football based on the number of truncations that happen between when the season starts and Christmas. It's about 3 or 4 international breaks in there, which I think is too much. I think FIFA should possibly look to switch it up a little. But what's up with you guys? What's been on your mind with regards to that transition? Coming back from the break, World Cup qualifications, now back to league action. Yeah, let me start with you.
You've mentioned the World Cup qualification, and because the World Cup qualification phase is still not over, looking at the fact that we have the intercontinental playoffs set to happen in March, and the fact that the European playoffs are also set to take place in March. And what that means is that 6 places are still up for grabs in terms of qualification to the World Cup. So it will still weigh on the minds of players and the minds of people who are into the sport of football, knowing very well that between now and the time that the World Cup will take place, every decision will be scrutinized with an angle towards the World Cup, and so it just can't go away. And the fact that next month is the draw for the World Cup, so my biggest issues or biggest thoughts coming into today's show, it still has to do with the World Cup and the fact that the pots are in and the permutations that could possibly have a situation where Ghana will be playing against top-level countries or possibly countries that are quite beatable, and maybe to my surprise, we could end up having quite a good run in the World Cup, because I've already stated that based on how things are happening and the level of coaching and what I've seen so far, I don't have too much confidence in Ghana's chances of being able to make a deep run in the World Cup. But that is before the draw has been made, and so looking at how the pots ended up, we could possibly end up with a winnable group and be able to qualify beyond the group stage and possibly make a shock deep run in the competition. Because look, yes, there's a situation where from pot 2 we could end up playing against Iran. In pot 3 we could end up playing against Uzbekistan. Then pot 1 maybe we end up playing against.
It's funny how you are picking low hanging fruits.
Oh,
That's
it's
very
possible.
Worst case scenario type
But
teams.
it's possible. Pot 3 Uzbekistan is in there. There's Qatar in there. those teams are nations are
Why
quite
don't you?
beatable.
Why don't you want to test yourself against the best in the world?
Yes, but I did that last night on Panorama, where I paired Ghana against Argentina, Croatia, Norway. Yeah, so that is one scenario. But there's also a scenario where Ghana could end up playing against Canada, who are one of the host nations, and are in Pot 1. We could end up playing against Canada. Ghana could end up playing against a country from Pot 2, and that is Iran. Iran is in Pot 2. We could end up playing against Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan, they are in Pot 3. So yes, you could have a situation where Ghana ends up in a group with Canada, Iran, and Uzbekistan. And yes, that is quite a winnable group. So yeah, that's the biggest thing on my mind right now.
Interesting. Let me get right into it with Manuel because Semenyo is out of Bournemouth's lineup. Lots of talk about him leaving camp during the Kirin Cup. Ended up seeing a much publicized proposal to his long-time girlfriend that had generated conversation. So some quarters said that they would be keenly observing if he appeared on AFC Bournemouth's team sheet as part of players who could feature this weekend. Well, that question has been answered. He's not in the starting lineup and he's not even on the bench. So it looks like the thoughts of Semenyo being injured or not being fully fit have been confirmed. Quick thoughts on all of that. Let's get into talk.
When he put out to the camp, I think it was through injury. At least that's the word that's been put out. I've seen the proposal and all that, and I understand that it might look like he was trying to get some time away from the pitch, but I think his coach was also speaking on the matter, and I'd be very surprised given how well he's playing this season. Especially during the week, I think there was a report that came out that I think David Ornstein reported that he has a release clause, at least from January. He has a release clause for the early part of January within a certain period that would allow Bournemouth to be able to get a replacement, which is about 65 million pounds, I think. So if I was him, I think I would be looking for every opportunity to get on the pitch and to prove, to show what I can do. Because when he signed the contract, I was initially quite worried about why was he signing such an extended contract with this length of time, up to 2030 at Bournemouth, when I felt like he was a peak, when he was at a time where he could now make a move to probably a bigger club. But now that more about the contract is being revealed, I think it was quite strategic by him at that point in time. He was trying to almost ensure that while he has security at Bournemouth, he still has avenues where in case other clubs will able to want to come in for him, they can still come in and purchase for him. According to that same report, the release clause, the 65 million, should go down in the summer. So I think between now and then, especially with the World Cup 2 on the horizon, I think what he can be doing is just trying to get into the team and have get more game time and just be consistent and pick up the form and show that it's not just a flash.
Well, let's talk about the Chelsea game currently happening. They lead by 1-0. It's 81 minutes played. Chelsea have hit the post as well. I believe that was Pedro Neto. Ball looked like it was going in, but he got the goal in the 37th minute. So he's been on his A game, if I should put it that way, today. For those of you who are tuned into the show, you can join the conversation via text, WhatsApp, and Telegram. 0549 986 996 0549 986 996. You can also drop us a message on X or Twitter. You can drop us a message on YouTube as well. Yeah, quick thoughts on Chelsea. Important game for them. Not been the most consistent team this season, but have stayed decent enough to be within touching distance of the teams that are considered serious in the league at this point. Second, as things stand now, actually, based on this particular result, if it stays like this, what do you expect from them coming back from that international break?
Yes, based on what I've seen so far, that's what I expected. I expected a few tweaks with regard to the players that started the game, and because of management, more or less, load management. You look at Caicedo, for instance, he didn't start this game.
Yeah.
Because, once you play for Ecuador, you're traveling all over the place. It becomes a bit too much for the players at some point, no matter how strong they are physically or in shape they are physically. You need to manage their load a little bit, knowing very well that the Champions League is coming up next week, and he is a very important player. You need him for those kind of games. And let's be honest, yes, it's the English Premier League. Every team is beatable, but every team is quite unpredictable. But at the end of the day, if you are playing against Burnley and you are Chelsea, looking at all the quality that you have in depth, you should be able to rotate your squad a little bit and still go ahead and beat them. And 84 minutes into this game, yeah, they are leading Burnley by a goal to 0. So no surprise based on what I've seen so far. I expected a few rotations, and that's what Enzo Maresca did. He started, or he benched Caicedo. Jamie Gittins started this game, so he rotated the squad a little bit. A few guys also got in a good run in. Liam Delap, after his suspension, yeah, he's back. He's featured in this game, and so nothing surprising. And when you look at that results that they've recorded as we speak, leading by a goal to 0, yeah, there's nothing shocking about what we've seen so far.
Mano, thoughts on this one? Chelsea again, like you rightly mentioned, not surprising that they're leading. I'm always looking at them with a lot of curiosity. I'm always wondering where their creative spark will come from. We heard just before coming into Panorama yesterday that Cole Palmer has aggravated his injury and is set to be on the sidelines a little longer. Obviously, that will make Chelsea fans uneasy, but looks like they are getting the job done so far. Is this something they can do also in the bigger, tighter matches, or you think that, absence of Palmer, no, Chelsea can get by?
I mean, to be fair, in the biggest match they've played so far this season against Liverpool, they were able to come out in a tight game. So I think they are growing, and I think that's I would say that's the effect of winning on young players. Because initially, when they were put together, lots of people questioned, a bit like Arsenal now. A lot of people questioned how they don't have anyone there who's used to win, who's going to guide these young players when they make mistakes. But I think last season, going through the experience of last season, the Conference League, and your captain, Reece James, was speaking about how some of these young players, he had lifted the Champions League previously under Tuchel.
Yeah.
But for some of the younger players in the squad, they weren't used to winning silverware. They hadn't won in a while. So lifting the Conference League and then going on to lift the Club World Cup, I think it gave them a bit of confidence. The problem is also about, like we've been saying, the tiredness, when that will start to kick in. And the injuries, Cole Palmer could be the one who brings the creative spark to them. But like you said, they have so many players that they've been able to pick up, like Bonanotte and Gittings, and there's so many players who should be able to fill that creative role at least until he's able to come back. Because the thing is, you also don't want to rush him back, because he also has his mind on the World Cup and getting into Thomas Tuchel's squad. So in terms of Chelsea's second in the table now, I think they take that at the start of the season. If you told them that we're 12 games in, if they're able to, obviously that depends on City's results. If City's able to win, they go back above them. But to be in the top 4, to be in a chance, to be in with a shout of the title at this time of the season, I think that's good for them in terms of this young team and how they can develop and start building and learn how to compete from titles.
Well, Chelsea's next game is against Arsenal, so getting a good result in this game is very important to them. Arsenal themselves will be playing tomorrow, I believe, against North London rivals Tottenham, so that should be a good game. If you look at Chelsea, like Riley mentioned, some rotation in there coming into this particular game. You can talk about new players that have come into the team. You can talk about impact so far. It's been a pretty decent campaign for them. João Pedro, for instance, came under some pressure in the last couple of weeks over drawing blanks. Went close to 2 months without a shot on target. I think he's gone on to score twice after then. December approaching quickly. Thoughts on João Pedro so far? Has he just been... Chelsea have gotten a second goal. So there you have it. 87th minute, looks like Enzo Fernandez. Let's just quickly go through the goal sequence again with you, and then we'll try and dissect it even further. So Chelsea celebrating the second goal. That should be match done and dusted. It's 2-0. It's 88 minutes played against Burnley Football Club. That's a very interesting celebration. I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean, but Chelsea players looking really ecstatic with that one. So there you have it. Oh, they played all the way out from the back. Yep. It looks like strong run. Who is that? It looks like Pedro Neto. Yeah.
I think he put the ball through to Magui.
Yeah.
And Magui held up the defender for a bit and was able to get the cut back through to Fernandes, who just...
That is such a good team goal. That is a brilliant team goal by Chelsea. So, yeah, thoughts on the goal before we get into that João Pedro talk. That's a really good goal.
Yeah, that's a good goal from a Chelsea perspective. But like the Kumasi Asante Kotoko head coach Karim Zito said, there are some goals that you just can't do anything to stop it, but there are some goals that are stoppable.
Mm-hmm.
This goal is stoppable. Like Tuanzebe, how do you get beat by Maguire in that manner? And how do you have two defenders going to attack Pedro Neto on that side of the field and giving him that much space? For me, I think from a Chelsea standpoint, having built from the back, maintain possession throughout, and having your man finish up that chance, it's what you dream of. It's a typical Enzo Maresca kind of goal where where you see how he wants his team to play. But if I'm Scott Parker, I think the marking was a bit loose, and it should have been a bit more close to their markers than they were. So it depends on where you stand. It's not a goal where unanimously you throw your hands in the air and say, okay, there's nothing the opposing team could have done about it. I think they had more than two. I think they had at least 3 or 2 instances where they could have done something to prevent that goal, and they failed to do so. And so the marking was a bit slack. So yes, I'll commend Chelsea for the confidence that they showed in building up from the back. Robert Sanchez remained very calm under that kind of pressure. I like that part, but I can't overwhelmingly or unanimously say that goal was hands down a super goal. No, I have some reservations about it because of the way Bournemouth defended that particular goal.
Well, for Magui, that would be a positive contribution in what has been a really, how would I call it?
Rocky.
Rocky would be strong because I feel like he's gotten a few run-outs, but I'd say indifferent, very indifferent time at Chelsea. Like, if he's there, you don't notice him. If he's not there, you can't be bothered about him either. Like, I mean, without you, we are good. With you, we are good.
I mean, he wasn't supposed to be there in the first place. He was supposed to be at Sunderland, but then Nicolas Jackson left. Then so emergency came up, so he had to be roped in, and so he shouldn't have been. You can't put that on him.
Yeah,
I think he best exemplified the whole Chelsea project, as in constantly just swapping and rotating the same type of players for a better, younger version constantly. And because they are doing it while the players are still very young, they are still gaining value. They are hardly losing value on the players that they are buying. So how do you call it? So someone like Maguire, they can buy him and loan him out, and if he works out, then he comes into the first team. If he doesn't, then they just send him off to someone else and make a bit more money off him, like they're doing Nicolas Jackson now. The fact that they got Bayern to agree to a 67.5 million agreement plus a 50 million loan fee for Nicolas Jackson is incredible business.
So Magui, I don't know, man. Like I think he's a decent young player, but I don't know what his strengths are.
I mean, but just to look at that, that's Broya, who also came into the team for a bit, wasn't able to make it. They sold him for Burnley for I think about 25-30 million.
That's decent money,
and that's what I'm saying. So they can just keep bringing these players in and out, and even if they don't work out, it's up to you to show whether you can make it at Chelsea.
Well, Chelsea Football Club, giving youngsters a run out, some of them going out on loan and whatnot. Magui, I don't know, man. Chelsea fans out there, tell me how you feel about Magui with regards to his ceiling, potential, play style. What you think he should be doing better? Should he be out on loan? Should the club sell him? I've just found his trajectory very weird. Looks like he was like a super sub for Barcelona, and then he was bought by Chelsea, and then all of a sudden, he's not been great. He's not been bad either. But hey, let's see how that goes. Burnley looking like they want to salvage a consolation out of this. Doesn't seem like it will happen.
I think with Magui, maybe Magui, not Magui, Magui. I think he more or less he exemplifies what your present day player is all about, or for the most part, how they perceive themselves, and they are not too patient in growth, and they are in a hurry to make that next step, despite not being necessarily ready to make that next step. Because look, earlier this week, Sadio Mane was on Rio Ferdinand's podcast, and he confessed that Man United called him, Louis van Gaal called him, and that he wanted him at Man United, but he was hesitant to go, not because he wasn't quality enough, but he recognized that he wasn't consistent enough. And at the time, Man United had Angel Di Maria, they had Memphis Depay, and there was also another winger in there. So he saw that there was going to be a problem with getting game time, and already he is not consistent as a player. So if he goes into such a situation, how would he improve? So he decided to take it take a break, just relax and go easy about it. Then the Liverpool project came along later down the line in that off season. Then he saw a path to consistent minutes and the chance to grow as a player. So he decided to join Liverpool. And once Man United missed out on signing Sadio Mane, they went in and got in Anthony Martial. So
Martial was the other guy he was talking about. He says there was Martial. They bought Martial after they couldn't get him, but he had to compete with Memphis. Van Persie was there at the time, and then Di Maria was there at the time.
And there was Wayne Rooney also hovering in the middle, so there wasn't enough space. So it was a good way of assessing himself. But these days, the quote-unquote Gen Z footballers, as you say, they don't have that kind of patience or self-awareness, if I can put it that way. Because you are a super star for Barcelona. Okay, you are running down your contract. You get a chance to be at Barcelona to hone your talent a little bit before you make that next step, if you still want to go ahead and move. But you just rush out of the window. And if you are going to pick a team to have consistent minutes and playing time, why on earth would you go to Chelsea?
Where there are a lot of youngsters who are just like you. Anyway,
so there are choices.
I also think that the players rushing to go to bigger clubs or for big opportunity, I think it's twofold, actually.
I mean, the money.
Good. So there's the agents bit. I feel like agents are pushing their clients a lot more now to make such moves, because they'll tell you that, you know what, if you don't make this move when the opportunity comes, we might never get a move to a club like Chelsea again. So let's take the opportunity. And then there's also what I think is a shortage or a shortfall of experienced players. So if you talk about quality experienced players, a good chunk of experienced quality players are either phasing out or have gotten to the stage where they are not strong enough or durable enough to play consistent minutes. It's happening with the coaches. Like, there are a lot of old coaches.
I think it's the phasing out bit that I honestly agree with you, because there was a period where if you played your role as...
Anyway, Chelsea's game has ended. So 2-0, Chelsea take all 3 points on the day. We'll be getting into previews of the 3 p.m. batch of matches here.
I think it was the phasing out of certain players. Those players that you highlighted, they are still around, but they are not playing for those elite teams. It's because there was a period where if you can't pass the ball, then you are redundant. If you don't build up from the back, you are redundant. You are seen as colo, quote unquote colo, and you don't belong among the elite. You belong to the teams that are scrapping to survive. Those kind of situations. So those players who came from the previous generation were phased out of the elite teams. And that's where you have the lack of veteran players or old players on those teams. and that's why you see everything.
In fact, Chelsea is a
going
good example.
sideways.
Even Chelsea that we are discussing, good example. Look at the phasing out of the experienced veterans they have. Now they have almost no veterans on the team. Reece James is the veteran on this team. Like, that's crazy. So Thiago Silva was one of the last like senior heads on this team to face that. I thought that they probably should have brought him back for one more season. It didn't happen, but it's really alarming for me, like how like the old guard of players are either heading out to the Gulf, maybe to China, the MLS to finish out their career, or flat out just retiring because they can't keep up with the pace of the game. Meaning that these days, if you are 16, 17, 18, and you show a little promise of being able to handle top level pressure, they are going to play you until you are 35 years old.
That's why a lot of them are picking up injuries all over the place, because their bodies are just not ready to be able to handle the immense pressure that comes with playing consistent, heavy first team football or first team minutes. That's why there was this spate of groin injuries in for instance, in the La Liga, for instance.
Yeah.
Nico Williams had his episode. Lamine Yamal is battling his. There was another player
Mastantuono.
Right? Thank you,
Real Madrid.
Mastantuono.
Yep.
Yes, because it's too much too early.
Yeah.
Too much.
And
too
these
early.
young players are really athletic as well, like way more athletic than the players that
because there's a lot of money at stake.
Yeah.
Again, it's down to the money. But at some point, you should be able to strike a fair balance. You can get some solid money and be able to manage the way that these guys play these minutes. I think a fair balance will be okay. And that's how come if you have a situation like Chelsea do have, where you have a group of talented players who can play multiple positions and can swap in and out of the team, where you can rotate them, that's a good situation to be in. But unfortunately, the coaches are committed to such a system. The team owners are committed to such a system. But are the players committed to such a system? They aren't, because they are in an eager. They are eager to go out there and play a lot of minutes so that their brand would sell.
No, I mean, but I think it depends on the manager though, because when teams were how do you call it, at Man City, most of the players at Man City, even players like Mahrez, were able to come in and accept that they were not going to be big time part players. He could come in for 4 games and maybe the next 4 games he wouldn't play. I just think sometimes it's the manager.
Down to the player.
Down to the manager telling you, like, down to the club you are at.
I mean,
but Maresca is a disciple of Pep Guardiola, so he understands these things, and that's how come he bought into this project.
To have
but
the
are the players ready to go down that path? No, I don't think so.
I mean, because I feel Zidane took over from Benitez, or if I'm right, in that side.
They signed Benitez that chaotic.
And the same players responded much differently to Zidane than they did to Rafa Benitez. And it's not like Benitez hadn't achieved anything.
Oh, do you want to know the inside story of that situation?
It was brutal.
Rafa
he fell out with a lot of players.
Yeah, tried to strong arm a lot of the senior superstars at Real Madrid, and they were not having it. Sergio Ramos says they used to have like 3 or 4 nicknames for him behind his back. And that, in fact, I always tell people that the biggest thing Zidane did at Real Madrid was not the tactical management. It was more connecting with the egos of the star players. Just because, as a star player himself, when he was, a player during his own active days, he was a very headstrong star type player. Could headbutt people, could do all kinds of really radical things on the pitch. So I think he resonated with a lot of the players, even the ones with very strong personalities that will rub people on. Cristiano Ronaldo, Sergio Ramos, those very strong personalities.
Was it Frank Lampard or John Terry who said the story about a time where Andre Villas-Boas was the head coach of Chelsea? They lost a game and the young players performed better than the quote-unquote old guy. And on their flight back home, he made the young players sit in the first class seat, and he made the old guy sit in the economy or business class, and it pissed them off. And right there, and they just wrote him. They just checked out. Like, this guy, no matter what he says, no matter the tactical game plan,
we're not listening to him again.
I'm not listening to him. They've checked him out. People, it happens. It's not necessarily
I wouldn't
about
be surprised
you,
if something similar happened with Graham Potter at Chelsea.
No, it happens. Look, I always say that people underestimate one, team hierarchies, like player hierarchies within a team structure, and also how much a coach has to work to earn the respect of his players. So like the longer you go without results solidifying, your dressing room will become toxic because we are going through the same drills every day. The results are not coming, and then mostly you know the manager will probably resort to like either singling out individuals, raising his voice, like doing things that will rub players wrong. And they look like you like your tactics are not working. This is on you, so fix it. If you don't fix it, the team will probably fall apart. So it's just very interesting. Modern day football is a lot more delicate, I think, than football was even 5-10 years ago. And it gets more sensitive as it goes along because players are very different now, more exposed to social media now. A lot of incidents that happened way back in the day, I believe if social media was as prominent as it was, then it would have been crazy. Like,
but this documentary about the Galacticos, Real Madrid Galacticos, who was it? Makelele said he thanks God every day that social media wasn't present then, because the parties that they had just at Ronaldo's house, and I mean Luis Ronaldo Nazario de Lima, the parties that they had just in Ronaldo's house, like if social media was present, oh no, it would have been crazy. And so he thanks God. He thanks God that during their time, social media wasn't a big thing because it would have brought about a whole.
I mean, if you hear about the kind of life Ronaldinho was living just before his crash out and his fall from grace at Barcelona, crazy movie-worthy stuff, like very interesting stuff, like the kind of stuff he was trying to even influence young players to participate in. There's a certain episode with him and Giovanni Dos Santos, absolutely wild scenes. Anyway, let me get to the 3 p.m. batch of matches.
Just on Chelsea, in the Premier League, this would be their third consecutive clean sheet, which I think is quite impressive for it. A team that's not necessarily always been renowned for their defense, and it switches and changes a lot. But the fact that they're able to get side in 4 and 5, so it shows that they're able to, in order to go up the table, they're building from the back and solidifying at least their defense.
It's a really decent game for Chelsea, I think, because it's always very hard for teams to find rhythm coming off the international break.
Yeah, I mean,
with all the tired limbs and
first
rotations.
game of the international break, a lot of players come traveling in from far places. So it's just whether they can keep it up consistently throughout the season and challenge Arsenal.
Well, you're making a point.
No, just whether they can challenge Arsenal this season if they have the quality and squad depth. Because I think they have the squad depth, but I don't know if they have the quality and squad depth.
Shout outs to Kwame357 on YouTube. You are sharing a few thoughts. Let me just read a few of his messages and then you come in. He says that Ben, modern day players are good because they get too much PR. Okay, he says, see how Chelsea fans are saying Esteval is better than Yamal, or be PR. He also says that this was a training session for Chelsea. Burnley is good, so I'm not surprised Chelsea. Burnley is not good, so I'm not surprised Chelsea is beating them. Burnley are decent for they are decent for the quality of players.
The team that came from the championship.
Yeah, and I think for the quality of players they have, you're making a point.
And the PR bit is true. I 100% agree that the substance doesn't necessarily meet the clouds that these days is generated about players or around players. Like there needs to be more substance before the gratification comes in big time. I mean, sorry to digress, but Cade Cunningham of Detroit Pistons is a fast rising star, but has he gotten to the point where he needs to get a signature shoe? That's the thing. Like he not rich, but he's getting a signature shoe.
I think these things are also happening because right now there are more media outlets, there are more eyeballs to be exploited.
And I think there's also an effect of the LeBron Jordan thing where most people, I mean, obviously he's not LeBron or Jordan, but most people are also trying to cash out on the next.
That's what I'm saying. And like I said,
more
TikTok. more YouTube,
Like-
more X or Twitter. So like there's more eyeballs to be exploited.
And maybe it doesn't work now, but maybe the Pistons win 5 championships in a row,
Oh.
and then it looks like it may.
But I smiled when Kwachi was making his points earlier, because I ran through the La Liga fixtures, and yes, before we came into the studio, Celta Vigo were taking on, or they are still taking on, Deportivo Alaves, and it's 82 minutes that has been played, and in the 73rd minute, Joseph Edu subbed into the game for Celta Vigo. So yeah, Joseph Edu is gradually getting himself some game time after dealing with that serious ACL injury that pretty much ruled him out for effectively about 8 to 7 months. And so yeah, I smiled because it's good to see him getting back into action and possibly getting back into the Black Stars fold as the World Cup nears.
I'm just looking at that Twanzebe and Magui duel again. I think Twanzebe did decently because they
needed to
that's
stop
where
him.
that's where the
they
move needed to stop. Once it got beyond him, he was running the risk of conceding a penalty. I look at it again, nearly put him down for a
But I
penalty.
shouldn't have gotten beat, especially on
You can say that.
especially on Magi's stronger foot. You need to show him on inside, push him onto, or force him onto his weaker foot. But he just gave him the leeway to be able to just push the ball past you and run on his stronger side. So for me, that for me wasn't necessarily good defending. Sorry to use this basketball analogy again. You need to be able to not get beat on the baseline. Don't get beat on the baseline.
Well,
so for me, that was bad defense.
Lineups are out for Liverpool and Nottingham Forest. Soboslai is back at right back. Charlie, interesting stuff. Anyway, Alisson Becker is back in the post for Liverpool. Soboslai, Van Dijk, Konate, and Kerkez. Let's see if Kerkez has woken up from his slumber.
I think that's mostly due to Robertson being unavailable apparently for private reasons.
Yeah.
I think he enjoyed Scotland's qualification a bit too much, so he just needs to take the weekend.
So they say it
off,
as it is. He probably has been partying too much. Probably has celebrated until the point of being sick. Crazy.
but
That can happen.
it's a good chance for Kerkez to come in and show that, because he hasn't looked steady since he made the move.
Yeah, so that's Liverpool's back line. Robertson is on the bench, however, just in case they need to call on him. In the middle, though, Ryan Grafenberg is in the middle of the park. McAllister and Curtis Jones. Very interesting. On the right-hand side, Mo Salah is back. Isak, suffering an injury, battling with fitness, is starting today. And then Cody Gakpo, the man and his lot insist on building the team around. Also turning up on the left flank for Liverpool. When you go to the side of Nottingham Forest, Matt Zels is in post. They have Savona, Milinkovic, Murillo, and Williams making up that back for Sangare. Good to see Ibrahim Sangare, the Ivorian. And then they have Elliot Anderson making up the pivot. They have Ndoye, Gibbs White, Dominguez, and Jesus. So that's the line. Pretty impressive. Let me stay with you, Kwachi, on the lineups, especially beginning with Liverpool.
Yeah, I mean, on a slot, while I've been backing him, I think he's been a bit too stubborn on certain things, and that might ultimately be his downfall. This the Soboslai at right back thing, I think it works well when you're playing against certain teams, when you are guaranteed to. Obviously, against Forest, we might have more possession, so I get that. But he's tried it in certain one-off games where I haven't seen it work as well. It worked really well the first season to him using Ryan Gravenberch as the DM in the midfield. But
Let me give you a quick update. So in the Bundesliga between Schalke and Bayern, not Schalke, Freiburg actually, and Bayern. Freiburg have taken the lead against Bayern. So it's 1-0. Bayern are playing at home in this game. It's 15 minutes played. Continue.
I was saying so. For on the slots, I think he's been too stubborn. I was saying using Soboslai as right back hasn't worked well this season. I think that in the first season it worked really well for him when he used Ryan Gravenberch as a DM. But for a team that seems to be conceding a lot of goals and chances, I wonder if it's time if he tried to if in the summer he had tried to get a better defensive solidity and maybe try and get an actual DM who can play there. And also the thing about it, he also doesn't seem to be able to trust some of the options of the bench that seem to provide that cover. So for example, Endo, even though Endo, I don't understand why he hasn't been able to at least get Endo to start more games. If he seems insistent on moving Hadikolo Soboslai out of the midfield, I think he should be able to find more space for actual defensive cover. But in terms of the lineup, I think it's pretty much what you'd expect from him at this moment. Another one of his stubborn insistences is Gakpo and not really giving Chiesa a chance to start at left wing, because none of us actually know what that would look like in a Liverpool system. You've seen him come off the bench and be able to affect the game constantly, but he's never actually been given a run of games in the team where it looks like you have a chance to show that you can keep the spot if you play well. And I think that's slightly disappointing. Feels like he does something well, he gets a good result, and then he starts reverting back to proving that what the tactics that he's been trying to work since the start of the season will be able to work. Having Alisson back in goal is positive. Mamadashvili has been quite good. He had some really outstanding saves, but I think Alisson brings a certain calmness to the team. Freiburg have scored again.
Oh, that's some interesting stuff going on there in the Bundesliga. If you look at that again, it's 17 minutes played, and FC Freiburg are 2 goals up ahead of. That's some really shambolic marking.
I mean, so both goals they've conceded have come from corners. From the same side.
So 2-0.
What was Manuel doing?
I don't know. Was he supposed to come for that? That was too far out for him.
He made a mistake by coming out and not being able to get to the ball. So he was trying to get himself in position, and he got caught in between the post and the ball. So he jumped, but the ball just looped over him. If he was on his line, there's no way that ball is looping over him.
I feel like his defense should have done better with their marking, though.
True.
Yeah, especially since that was the same goal that beat them the first time.
The first time they sent it through the box, and then someone got a flick on it, and then they scored. He scored from that resulting touch. But it's the same. They've used two different set piece routines on Bayern, and that's a bit surprising, given Bayern's would be the bigger team.
Yeah,
with the Upamecano and Enter playing. I think they should have been able to deal with the ball defensively.
Yeah, thoughts on that Liverpool lineup there? A few changes. Curtis Jones coming into the middle. Keke's coming in for Robertson, whom we've heard was doing his own thing. Isak also returning to the starting lineup.
Yes, unlike Chelsea, where that had quite a substantial number of changes to their usual starting lineup, so the rotations came in. Liverpool do not have too much of a leeway when it comes to rotating the squad because there are injuries. You have to factor in injuries. How many do I see? 3 key players, more or less, players that were brought in to improve the depth of the team. Florian Wirtz is injured. Jeremy Frimpong is injured. Leone also injured, pretty much out for the season. And then you bring in Conor Bradley, who is also injured. And so you are missing out on some players that could have helped out with the rotation through injury. And on top of that, you also have to factor in the coach's pretty much stubbornness, or I wouldn't say stubbornness, but his hesitancy, trusting some players on his bench. So case in point, Wataru Endo, Federico Chiesa, he believes that Gakpo, he believes that Gakpo will be able to deliver the goods ahead of Federico Chiesa, and so you have to marry those two. But aside that, I'm not surprised with this starting lineup because he is quite stable with the selection, and mainly because the depth is not there as much as it is at Chelsea. So I'm not surprised with his lineup. I like the fact that Curtis Jones has been introduced into this midfield because there will be some heavy legs out there, and he's the youngest in that group. And on top of that, he wasn't necessarily involved in long travels compared to McAllister and co. And so we look at Szoboszlai heavily involved in the
so why can't Gomez at least get a start today. And if
That-
you feel,
and that's
if you
where I
feel
see-
necessary, the game comes in, then you bring Subosly in.
I
and
said-
Fred
and that's why I
Sebastian.
said there's a bit of hesitancy with the coach trusting some players.
Yep.
You
Yep.
get it. There's a bit of it's clear.
And
right?
like
That was last season.
Subosly playing right back is because he was part of he played the game against
Portugal and
Portugal,
he played
yeah, so
against
he-
Ireland.
against Ireland. So he played
He was
both games.
heavy
He played 90
minutes.
minutes trying to get country to qualify. And when he plays right back, he has to go up and down and sometimes come back into midfield. Bayern have scored.
So we have a consolation, at least for now. Bayern have drawn or have scored in that game against Freiburg. That was a really, really impressive bit of offensive play. Some lefty magic on the right hand side. I need to see who it is. Michael Olise.
Yeah,
doing
that's the
his thing.
PR bit that comes in when it comes to football.
That was really well
Yeah.
delivered.
If you think about the best left-footed wingers,
So look at it again.
right now.
Took the ball 1, 2, just went past his marker like he wasn't there.
He just glided
Threaded the
through
ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, that touch, the
Beautiful
finish was
first.
great.
Scout is he's I think he came into the team this season. He's having a really good.
Who's that?
Really
Who
good
scored
run of
that
team.
I think
Leonard
the-
Carl.
Yeah,
Leonard Carl. He's
yeah,
one
youngster.
of the. He's a youngster. He scored on his Champions League debut. Scored a few good goals in the Bundesliga.
That's a really well taken goal. Really well taken. First touch good, went by his marker. Good composure
Yeah,
to
like I said,
finish.
good build up from Elise. Just beating his man and finding him in space.
But you don't get
was-
to hear of him as much as you hear of Kyle Saka and Co.
Yeah,
I mean,
but-
that's the way the PR.
I mean, you are
thing
playing
comes
in
in.
the
The
Bundesliga.
German league, yeah. So
Yeah.
that also happens. But I like the fact that Curtis Jones is in this Liverpool midfield because I think he'll give them that bit of cover when it comes to being able to cover the distance that you'll be needed. The hard miles, you need the hard miles to be able to ensure that this Liverpool team will be able to dominate possession and keep the pressure on Nottingham Forest consistently. I mean, we've seen Liverpool. One of the elements that helped them to do so well over the past few years was that their pressure, their intensity was relentless. But these days, or in recent times, you don't necessarily see it because they let up on teams quite a lot, and that makes it the job of opposing teams quite easier because if you are constantly putting them under pressure, harassing them, hounding them, they are prone to make mistakes. But if you let up, then you give them that bit of chance to more or less get composed, get confidence, and be able to have a go at you. And so you constantly you need the players to be pressurizing the opposing team and put them under a lot of duress. And Curtis Jones will be able to help that because at the end of the day, defensively, you know that you'll be a bit covered. You have the legs and the numbers in midfield to be able to take care of any slippages that might happen in case of a loose possession or a counter attack. Because I don't see them lining up in a flat back four. It will easily morph into a back three with Kekes tagged in alongside Konate and Virgil van Dijk. Then you have four players in midfield, and that should be more than enough to be able to deal with the threat, the counter-attacking threat of Nottingham Forest. So I like the presence of Curtis Jones in this midfield.
Well, before we talk about Nottingham Forest, let's talk about Isak a little. So he came in having not participated in preseason, struggled with knocks and little injuries here and there, struggled with fitness overall. The international break, I guess, has given him some time to get his act together. £125 million, £130 million, depending on where you are. How important is it for him to start scoring, especially at home? I believe he's not scored a goal at Anfield yet.
No,
as things stand now, the pressure will begin to pile.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised when they still went ahead to purchase him, because he had signed Vets for that amount of money, and because he had also signed Ekitike, and they seemed like they didn't need to. Especially with all the drama at the time that was coming with Newcastle, not saying that they were not going to sell him and they wanted 150 million. Now that he's here and they have signed him, I think they need to make sure that their investment pays off. The problem initially when he came was fitness. I think Slot has been very patient. I think he hasn't let him play. So he says he can play 60 minutes and then he takes him off. He brings Ekitike on. I think he's allowed him to adjust quite well. But sooner rather than later, he's going to start to be judged on his goals. And so far, he hasn't been able to deliver, at least until hopefully with the international break. I think Arteta also made the same point that it gave the medical staff at Arsenal a lot of time to work extensively with the players rather than having to focus on game to game and recovery and all that. So now that he's been able to get some time off and he's been able to get himself back into the groove, this is an important time for him to start scoring. The reliance on Salah that we spoke about, if Salah is not firing, they need someone else who can at least come into the team and be consistently an outlet for goals and show that he can how do you call it, they can build from him up top. So, and like I said, he also has a problem of how well Ekitike is playing, because once he comes on and he doesn't perform well, Ekitike comes on, he plays 20-30 minutes, he gets his goal. Obviously, for now, people will say, oh, Isak has started because of the price. But after a while, it will start to not make sense why you are not playing your more informed striker. And as expensive as he is, I think he has limited time to prove that. So this is a good opportunity for him against a Nottingham Forest team that's probably expected to sit deep. This is the time for him to show that his creativity, how his link-up play that he was really well known for at Newcastle in Sweden, going on the left and coming inside, he should be able to do that well. And he's also a very tall figure. He should be able to get on the end of crosses, and it's a good opportunity for him to start scoring. So there's a lot that's expected of him.
A lot expected of Alexander Isak. Yep, much is given, so much is definitely expected. Yeah, talk to me a bit about Forest and their lineup. Dijk has picked up 4 points in his last 7. Really decent results if you look at what they were going through before he showed up. So you could talk about 3-1 win over Leeds, 2-2 draw against United, and then a 2-0 defeat to AFC Bournemouth. So quick thoughts on the lineup they've put out and what they could get into with regards to a game like this. Forest won this game last season. Callum Hudson-Odoi scoring the only goal of that particular encounter.
Yeah, with that brilliance, Keller. Looking at what Nottingham Forest have dealt with, and the fact that this opposing team that they are going to face, it's pretty much unsettled in the way things have gone so far over the past month for Liverpool. Yeah, they could fancy their chances, but playing against Liverpool at Anfield, yeah, despite the rocky nature of Liverpool's form, I think it will be quite difficult for them to be able to do so, knowing very well that yes, Mohamed Salah doesn't work as hard as much defensively, but and that is a weakness, knowing very well that you're playing against a team that is looking to counter-attack. Yeah, that could be problematic, but once you are willing to sacrifice based on your selection a man in the defense to be able to shore up that midfield, I think they should be good enough. And so yeah, it will be a struggle to see Nottingham Forest beat Liverpool. I'm tipping Liverpool to win this game, but yeah, I think the best outcome for Nottingham Forest will be a draw. If they can get a draw, yeah, they'll really be proud of it. And yeah, it could end up coming from possibly a mistake, because once I see Alisson return to the goal for Liverpool, I know that they will constantly try to build up from the back, and Alisson will have those wild swings of his, and that could just, because you know that he'll deliver one or two mistakes, that will deliver two major or one major heart in mouth moments. And if Nottingham Forest are clinical enough, they are clinical enough, yes, they can get a goal from it. Then you get Liverpool to be scrambling for a goal or two to be able to get the win, and that's where possibly a draw could emerge. And so yeah, I think the best result or the best outcome for Nottingham Forest will be a draw, but I don't see them winning this game. Well,
Liverpool have shown that anything is possible this season. Let me get to some of the other matches. We'll get back to the Liverpool game in a while or in a bit. So let's go to the other matches happening. You can get to, there's a game happening right now, AFC Bournemouth's game. I saw a few interesting stats regarding Semenyo. I will be reading those for you in a bit before we touch on that conversation to do with AFC Bournemouth. So when you look at what they say, Bournemouth's mini slump, like they said, can be blamed on a tricky run of fixtures, but also the form of star winger Antoine Semenyo. Now, they say the season began. He began the season with 6 goals and 3 assists, but since the October international break, he has gone 4 league games without a goal involvement, and failed to convert a penalty in his previous outing. So it's been pretty rocky for Antoine Semenyo. If you look at the script since the October international break, like we always say, sometimes the international break is just not good for you. They are up against West Ham United today. If we can have the lineups for that one, but let me take your thoughts on that one, Kwache. Semenyo out of this game. His absence or lack of form coinciding with Bournemouth's own poor form in the league.
Yeah, he been quite vital to the way they tried to play. I think LA Junior Krupke came in and he was also scoring some really good goals for them, but that hasn't continued. So, they have a lot of good players. But as Raiola was speaking about injuries, so I think Kluivert got injured when he was playing with Denmark. I'm sorry, I said Denmark, with the Netherlands, and that looks like it might be a long-term injury. And so to miss out on Semenyo too, especially given how much they've already had to retool their whole squad, selling their whole defense and all that, I think the injuries are going to make it a step too far for them. He's also coming against a rejuvenated West Ham side, and the Nuno. They didn't start too well. When he came, there wasn't as much of a bounce, but I think he's been able to get things around to them. Paqueta, he misses out without Paqueta, who has been instrumental in the last 2 games that they've won. But Bournemouth should still have enough to go into this game and think that they should win. I mean, West Ham are still in the relegation zone, and this is a team that's in the top 10. As much as they have injuries, the form also over the whole season should be an indicator to them that this is a team that we are better than, and if we play our football right, we should win this game.
So AFC Bournemouth, thoughts on that? Like Kwache said, Justin Kluivert, very instrumental for them this season, either scoring or assisting, just like Semenyo, missing out. So today they have Tavernier, Krupi, Evanilson, and Brooks. That's what their attack is looking like. West Ham themselves are pretty decent. Bowen, Wilson, Guillem. But the truth is that if Forest win today at Anfield, West Ham could be in even bigger trouble. So this is a game that even they can't afford to lose.
Well, yeah, most definitely. You look at Evan Nilsson, workaholic kind of striker. During the international break, I saw an interview of Enes Unal, who has been out due to injury for a while for AFC Bournemouth, and he stating that he's had a tough time dealing with the injuries, and he's ready to serve the club in any way that he can. I think because of the drop in form and the injuries, so that's how come you have this more or less, can I call it a threadbare kind of attacking lineup from AFC Bournemouth. But with Antoine Semenyo, I'm not surprised that his form has dropped off a little bit, because I see him as more of a rhythm kind of player, where when he's in rhythm, he's pretty much unstoppable and he's great to watch. But when there's a halt to that rhythm, then he becomes just a good player, where he works hard, he's able to beat his man on a couple of occasions. He does the job as a winger or as a wing forward pretty well. He's able to whip in some crosses, create some decent chances. But in terms of being able to take over games, dominate games, then score decisive goals, then that's when it becomes a bit problematic. And it's of little surprise that he hasn't necessarily found his footing when it comes to the Black Stars, because of that trait that I see in him, that he's more of a rhythm player. So I'm not surprised that his form has dipped because of, like you said, the breakages in the schedule because of the international break. But between now and March, there's nothing like an international break, and so I should see him pick up some bit of form, but I don't see him being able to be in that scorching form where he's scoring goal after goal, game after game. I think he will be scoring goals here and there, And what is definitely guaranteed is that I should see him score in double figures at the end of the season. That is for sure. If you score 6 goals in the Premier League at this stage of the competition, and you miss out on getting a double figure in terms of goals, and it's not connected to injuries, like major long-term injuries, then that's a bit of a worry. But I do see him being able to finish with at least 12 goals. I see him scoring at least 6 more goals to finish up the season. But once their big men aren't able to, or key players aren't able to get in rhythm and deliver consistently, that's where AFC Bournemouth's form has dipped a little bit. Because if you ship out some of your top players, the ones that have come in are good enough to get the job done. But in terms of being able to take that next step, you need to rely on your key players that remained. And unfortunately, in this game, those guys aren't necessarily available. Justin Kluivert and Antoine Semenyo, and there's also another player in there. I've quite forgotten his name. I'll get it for you in a bit. Then it makes it difficult to see AFC Bournemouth dominating this game. I wouldn't be surprised if this game ends in a draw, honestly. But if you had asked me this question 3 weeks ago, I would have easily told you flat out that, oh yeah, AFC Bournemouth are winning this. But I look at the improved form, the improved play of West Ham under Nuno, and I look at the dip in form of the key players of AFC Bournemouth that has directly affected their form in terms of being able to pick up wins. Yeah, I am a bit hesitant sticking my neck out for a Bournemouth win. I wouldn't be surprised if this ends in a draw.
Possibly could end in a draw. Quite a quick thoughts on Espirito Santo in the relegation zone. Big chance for Liverpool there. I think Liverpool on the offensive as we speak looks so Nottingham Forest having to defend deep. But just quick thoughts on that before we talk about Espirito Santo. Quick thoughts on that.
Liverpool are putting a lot of pressure on Nottingham Forest. They broke down the left wing. I think McAllister had a shot. Was that on the line?
Literally headed close to.
I think that was Morello on the line.
That's a very hard hit on his face.
Okay. So Anderson. Was it Anderson?
Yeah.
But Liverpool seem to be putting a lot of pressure on Forest, and I think that's what they need. Because if you sit back and let them think that they're still in the game, 70, 80 minutes, the game becomes very tense for you. So I think at least at the start of the game, try and get a goal or two, and then for them to open up. If they don't open up, then you just hold on for the win, because you also need to. I think at this point too, they don't also need to be overexerting themselves. They also need to make sure that they don't waste the effort without getting 3 points.
Why is Brian Grafenberg playing as the last man on that free kick routine? He's one of their biggest players. Shouldn't he be part of that group that's fighting to head the ball into the net?
Well, I think Anaslot would be best placed to explain that situation for a coach.
For a team that you need to score an early goal to settle the nerves, and you have a corner kick. Yeah, I think in that situation, Ryan Grafenberg isn't necessarily one that you put him in the back end maybe defend the goal. Is he even the fastest player? He's not the fastest.
They've been using him in a very interesting way. Which sometimes he gets to bomb forward.
Gakpo just did.
Charlie.
Gakpo didn't learn
Oh, boss.
Because look, I don't know, but I don't know why this manager is so stubborn, obsessed with Gakpo.
Because he can speak Dutch with him. He's his fellow Dutchman.
I don't know what Gakpo has achieved in football better than Federico Chiesa. Chiesa won the league with Juve. He won the Euros with Italy. The records are there. He's the better technician when you need a player to go wide.
Better at pressing the ball even.
Better pressing the ball. Everything about him looks good. And for me, like you rightly say all the time, it has to be the Dutch connection. That is the only logical reason for which you will play Gakpo ahead of Chiesa. But having said that, don't forget last season, and Slot lost this very game.
1-0.
Remember? 1-0.
Yeah.
Hudson-Odoi, sublime finish. And for me, it's a game that Liverpool have to approach with all seriousness and with all intent. So far, I think they are doing exactly that, but it has to count. The ball will have to find itself in the back of the net for you, because it was a similar routine last season. They had all the ball, they dominated, they created all the chances, and then one simple counter attack. I remember it was a sublime diagonal from Elanga to Odwe, and then he controlled at the next story. The ball was in the back of the net. This is Sean Dyche. He set up this Nottingham Forest team in such a way that makes sure that they'll be difficult to concede. Isak starts today. He has to score.
In fact, let me give you a few stats. Isak has had one shot on target in 4 appearances for Liverpool. He's not scored in the league at all. We have an update for you. There's been a goal in the West Ham AFC Bournemouth game. Callum Wilson has scored for West Ham United. I told you, Callum Wilson, if Callum Wilson is fit, he's one of the best finishers in the league. Not strikers, finishers in the league. 1-0 advantage West Ham United. Coach, you were making a point, yes?
Yeah, so like I'm saying, from the way Liverpool are doing their things, this is a must-win game. Because if they don't win today, Man City is expected at St. James's. Is a very difficult
game for them. They can drop points. Arsenal can drop points this weekend.
Exactly. So you have to win and then make sure that you keep yourself in the picture. I don't think Liverpool win the league because they've lost 5 out of 11. I still do believe there are more games they will lose. And because of that, I've completely ruled them out of the league title. But having said that, one thing that they cannot compromise on is Champions League football. It would be an absolute miracle to get them to win the league, having lost 5 games at this stage of the season. That would be, in my view, a very huge achievement by Arne Slot. So for me, it is still very tight, but they will have to begin to win and pick up points. The manager is not making life easy for himself.
I mean, Coach, I agree with you, but just in theory, if they've lost 5 games, instead of if they had drawn 2 of those games, and let's say they had lost 3, they'd have just 2 more points. I don't think right now 2 points is the difference between them competing for the title or not. I understand what you're saying, but I feel like it's also slightly a mentality thing. If you can get yourself up, you've already lost 5, and then at the end of the season, make sure you don't lose more than 6.
No,
I think at the end of the day, it's just a point difference between you and the team at the top of the table.
5 out of 11, you cannot bet on them just losing just a game
more to complete the whole season.
If you look at
like I also point out, they haven't drawn a single game as well.
Yeah, so you see, at the end of the day, we've not gotten to the stage where a draw will be an achievement to losing. There are times where if you look at this venue, example, Liverpool goes to City and they pick up a point. It's a valuable point that could lead them to the league title.
Instead of losing the game outright.
But you've not even gone there yet. Have they played Man City already?
They played Man City. Yeah. They lost 3-0.
They lost 3-0. Okay. I think they've played Man City. They've lost to City. They've lost to Chelsea.
They lost City and Chelsea, but they beat Arsenal.
And they lost to Manchester United as well.
Yes. So a lot of big game defeats.
They've lost. What they now need to do is to make sure that return leg of Man City and Chelsea, the 2 teams will come to Anfield. They need to return the favor. Anything apart from that, you are losing further ground. And what is the guarantee that this Van Dijk and Konate backline with Champions League football coming thick and fast will not? Because the 2 of them cannot play every game. So far, they've played every game. Agreed?
Yeah, but that's again, it comes down to his stubbornness. He doesn't trust the people on his bench. He has Gomez who can play both centre back and right back, but he doesn't utilize him.
Whether he trusts them or not, sensibly, he's a coach who is at this level supposed to know better. That these 2 guys cannot play all the remaining Champions League games.
Oh no, but then in January, I mean,
he signed Leone.
No, but he's injured. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But before signing Leone, like he rightly said, Gomez has always been an integral part of this team.
Yep.
AC Milan wanted Gomez at all costs.
If he leaves Liverpool, he goes to another big team.
Of course. And I think he's in the final year of his contract. Would they want to lose him on a free?
That's a player I will be very sad if Liverpool actually lost out to, whether free, whether sold. Very valuable player, good pace, good defending ability, versatile. He's had his injuries in recent times, but still a very serviceable player, if you ask me. Liverpool looking dangerous. Oh my goodness, what a tackle.
Right elbow.
I don't know if that should have been goal number 1. I think
This clearly should have been an assist
Yeah.
for Mohamed Salah.
look at that.
Look at
ball
the
put in
skill.
a difficult area.
Look at it. He had 2 players. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, Salah was cooking
4.
in that box.
How did you not
Yeah,
score this?
his right foot is completely.
I think he was waiting for the contact.
Yeah.
The contact that never came. Look at it. Look at it. Look at. No.
Defender was closing him down. The ball fell to his right foot. Milos Kerkez in the but coach. This is where, or these are the spots I expect to see Isak in.
Exactly.
I thought as the finisher he should have
That
been
is
the
his
one
area.
running into that particular
He's
spot.
anticipating these balls better.
Yeah, he's not getting enough touches in dangerous areas for me, and that's very worrying.
It's
to me.
concerning, and it must be put on the doorstep of the manager. You see, most people have looked at Šeško performances for Manchester United, and as to where the criticism is coming from, for me, is very shocking to me. This is a player who was
Yeah.
bought. He missed the first.
I think
2
Bayern
games.
Munich. So just hold your thoughts there a second. Let's see if we can get a replay of the Bayern Munich goal. But it's 2-2 between Bayern Munich and Freiburg. Freiburg took a 2-goal lead against Bayern. They got Michael Olise pulling strings again. So Bayern passing their way around the box for Freiburg, and Michael Olise gets that goal to make it 2-2.
Yeah,
So
he
he and Carl combined
again.
for the first goal. This time Olise is scoring the goal himself. So like we rightly said, Olise assisted a goal. You wouldn't hear much about it because he plays in the Bundesliga, but big time stuff, coach.
Yeah, so like I say, the criticism of players like Šeško, because I don't know why most people think that he should be doing extraordinary with Manchester at this very early stages of his career. Somebody who is new to the Premiership. He was bought virtually the last week of the transfer window. He missed the first 2 games. He didn't have any preseason. He came back, played some 25 minutes, 30 minutes. He scored in 2 successive games where he started. Because of the opponent at hand, the coach benched him, came in, and he's been coming on as a substitute against Chelsea. He was virtually the difference maker. He's the player that has allowed Man United to play a bit direct. When he's around and United go long, he's always flicking the ball to Mbeumo and Ahmad and Cunha for them to go and operate. But people think that he's not done well so far. But this is somebody who has been in the league.
Yeah.
Like you rightly said, he's had only 1 shot on target.
1 shot on target in 4 matches.
1 shot on target.
Yep. He hasn't scored in the league at
Premier
all.
League history, he's the most expensive player ever to be bought.
Yep.
I'm not questioning the quality of Isak. But what I'm saying is that some players should be given some breathing space to at least find their ground in a completely new terrain. Most people don't want to talk about Florian Wirtz. He's not even assisted. Sesko have assisted. Agreed? He assisted Mbeumo. I think he has 2 goals and then 1 or 2 assists. Yeah, if you can pull that out for me, I'll be most grateful. But people think he's not done anything. And I've been asking myself, are they watching the football I'm watching? It cannot be so. Man United have played 11 games in the league. How many games has Sesko played?
Good question.
How many games has he played?
I think you'll always. I also kind of feel like
but you see,
you'll
the
always
media
get
of
more
today,
scrutiny at
social
United.
media. That is it.
Yeah. United are a bigger draw. You always get more.
That is where
You always get more scrutiny when you
but
play for
I've
United.
always want to remind people that look, the same spectacle that is used to assess the United players, that same eye, that third eye, that fourth eye, should be used to assess the other players of other teams.
No, Šeško has played 11 Premier League games. He has 2 goals. And
That
an
cannot be
assist.
correct.
I mean, it depends how many games he started. But
That cannot
He
be correct.
started.
That cannot be correct. On the
11
first
games?
game against Arsenal, he didn't play.
Yeah, this is according to
Hold on.
Transfermarkt.
Let me go to PremierLeague.com.
Okay.
I'll get that for you from PremierLeague.com.
Yes.
So just hold on.
please
to that.
compare that with Isak. I just want to know.
No, I'm not
please.
comparing it to Isaac.
I'm also
You
pointing
should
out that
compare
Isak.
to Florian Wirtz. The two of them just came. As for Isaac, nobody doubt his quality in the league.
But he's not even looking like the same player
Is
anymore.
it?
Not
For
looking
him,
like the same player
he's
anymore.
not had a preseason.
So very very interesting situation with Isak and Wirtz, but Wirtz missing out through an injury. I'm trying to find out the games played on the Benjamin Sesko situation. Let me just get that for coach. So, according to PremierLeague.com, if you look at his appearances, he's made 11 appearances actually.
Hey.
Made 11 appearances. There you have it. 2 goals, 1 assist. So there you have it. So that start from you are actually correct.
Okay.
So 11 appearances, 2 goals.
How many games has
1
he started?
assist.
That's where
Let me see.
Yes.
Let me see. There's a breakdown. There's a breakdown of that.
He has not
here.
started a lot of games.
Good. So he has come off the bench at least 5 times. So
Out of
6
11.
starts, 5 off the
Yes,
bench.
and he has
So,
2 goals, 1 assist.
That's how it looks like. 6
Florent
starts.
Wirtz,
I'll find Viets for you.
Ekitike, how many goals has he scored?
I'll find it for you.
Yeah, find that. Then all the spectacles will be put on them. Jokeresh, how many has he scored?
I'll
so
find
far?
out for you.
No, let's find it. Let's find it. So now, proper assessment of everybody.
That's interesting. Anyway, when you look at Victor Eina Gyökeres, so stats are here. I like doing a few stats on
Is
them.
that the new company?
Gyökeres has made 10.
Yeah.
Oh, they started using it already.
Yeah, I mean they've opened it up to I think 45,000 people. It's
Look
not
at
yet
the
open
pitch.
for the
The pitch
full
is so
capacity.
slick.
Look at the pitch. Look at the quality.
They spent a lot of money on it.
Yeah, this is the country umpire.
Smooth.
Look
Yeah.
at the size of the pitch.
Yeah. So Gyökeres has made 10 appearances. He scored 4 goals,
4 goals.
and delivered 0 assists.
Assists.
So not bad, not bad.
He's new in the league, so for him you can. I
Yeah,
mean,
4 goals is very decent.
I mean, he has a couple of goals in the Champions League as well, so he's not just.
And then you can talk about Liverpool's Hugo Ekitike. Coach says he was Ekitike.
Yeah,
so
I want Ekitike.
I'll pull up Ekitike as well for you. Yeah, let me find that. Let me take my time to find that for you. Where can I?
I mean,
find-
but I think Ekitike, I might be biased and say he's probably been the best performing striker out of the one.
He's been decent actually. He's been decent. I think he's had his own issues, and that has led him to have to sit out a couple of games. But minus that, he's had a decent start.
He was-
Yeah, that infamous situation. Looks like when players want to take off their jersey, you can't do anything about it. Like Ekitike is actually scored. He's also played 10 matches, scored 3 goals, 1 assist actually. So Gyökeres has more goals. Yep.
So that's
4 goal contributions. Looked like was more in the beginning, but he's also had to pick up a few bench appearances in that time spell. So not too crazy, but that's the lowdown so
3
far.
goals.
3 goals, 1 assist.
That's
10
it.
appearances.
But everybody say he's had a fantastic start.
I mean, but
no, you see, I want to point this thing out
he
to everybody.
scored in the Champions League as well.
Oh, forget it. Somebody's not playing it. I'm looking at the league. I'm not extending it. I'm looking just at the league.
Okay.
So you realize that Sesko is not far off all of them, isn't it?
Of all his competitors.
He's not
actually.
far off. But all of a sudden, there's some sort of spotlight, satellite, we don't know where it is stationed, and then he's been looked at differently.
Oh no, he's been good. He's been good. I think it's just the comparison with the strikers that have been brought in the past. So comparing him to Højlund and Zegzi and certain players who were expected to come and perform, but we haven't really
Liverpool, they are not serious.
been able to go play at that level consistently.
Yeah, so that's what's happening. When you look at Spain, like we rightly mentioned, the new Camp Nou are completely popping. Pitch looks very lush, very green, very smooth. It's goalless. It's 3 minutes played in their game against Athletic Bilbao. Now I'm trying to see if Inaki Williams is back.
No, he's not back.
He also has some injury
Yesterday
concerns.
he trained alone. He trained alone. He's on his way back from that injury, and he's likely to be involved in their game against Levante.
That's a groin injury as well.
Yeah, against Levante. That's on November 29th. So possibly he could feature next week, but not before. So he's not part of the group.
Interesting stuff going out there. But
Also scored.
so Barcelona have taken the lead in their game. Robert Lewandowski,
the first player to score in the new Camp Nou.
Looks like it. Celebrating that he's wearing a captain's armband today as well. So big significant goal for Lewa. Barcelona fans were on his back a few months ago talking about how they shouldn't renew his contract, he should go. And then they went through an injury phase where they all of a sudden realized how valuable he is as a player. On his day, one of the best finishers on the planet. So there you have the goal. There, I think Bilbao were dilly-dallying, trying to play out from the back. Yep, ball nicked off them quickly. Barca pounds. Look at that finish.
Simon should have done better.
Look at that finish. Left foot finish near post. Unai Simon really, I think, should have done better. The ball should not be squeezed into
the national number one shouldn't get beat like that.
I think he should be going with two hands.
With his weaker foot as well.
You should have done better. Unai Simon, this one there, egg on your face.
No, but I mean Lewandowski, that's his thing. I think his all-round game has gone down slightly because of his mobility. Obviously, he's 37 now. He can't run as much as he could. But like you said, his finishing has never
been in doubt.
Never been in doubt.
I don't think finishing ever leaves you. Like the ability to finish, if you are 90 years and you can get onto the pitch to stand in the box, you can finish. Maybe your muscles might be too weak to strike a ball, but finishing and technique, one of those things that never leave you. And he scored that with his weaker foot as well. Meanwhile, Liverpool still struggling to break down Nottingham Forest's goalless in that game. It's just about 30 minutes played. I'll be taking you around the rest of the game so you can get a glimpse of what's happening elsewhere. So Bournemouth are still down by a goal to West Ham United. Brighton and Hove Albion up against Brentford.
Is Semenyo in the game?
No, Semenyo is not playing actually. He's not even on the bench. So apparently he really is injured. So he's out of this game. Like I said, Brentford are up at the Amex against Brighton. It's goalless in that game. When you look at the lineup for that one, Danny Welbeck is still going strong. I am tipping him to make the England squad. People think it's not possible. I think he will sneak in. I think that Thomas Tuchel is radical enough a manager to give Welbeck a shot in this team based on form and how things go. But yes, they have a typical Brighton lineup if you know how they play. Mente, Ruta, Gomez, Welbeck, Ayari and Baleba, Van Hecke, Boscali, Kadiolu and Vifer. Verbruggen is the goalkeeper. In the post for Brentford, they have Kelleher in post, Aya, Vandenberg, Collins and Michael Kayode, Henderson and Yamaluk, Damsgaard, Shada, Ouattara and Thiago. If Henderson can go to the World Cup as a backup for England, I don't see why Welbeck cannot, because I look at
because England already have a backup for Harry Kane.
No, but I look at the midfield options.
He's not scoring.
He's not even better than Welbeck now.
Not been fit. So
he's not scoring.
That's the bottom line.
But Unai Emery says he's been playing too pain. So he's not scoring.
They should heal the pain.
That's the bottom line. If you are a striker and you are going to back up somebody, we need you to be scoring. He's not scoring. So I think the backup slot is definitely wide open, especially since Welbeck can do different things as well. So it looks like we have an update in that game. Brentford have scored in that particular game. I will be confirming Igor Thiago. A lot of people talk about him like he's not somebody who's been doing well. Igor Thiago, they should be goal number 5, I believe, in the league.
I think it should be more than that.
No, I think it's 4.
I'll check that for you.
Yeah, he scored twice.
I'll check that for you in a bit. He's been going really strong. Let me take your thoughts on that one. Taking the lead at the Amex, Brentford lead.
Yeah. Brentford they've looked like they are building on a really solid campaign, and they are not losing any of their top key players.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, because crazy, but then it's something they've been used to. Like, so when they came up from the championship, they had Oli Watkins. They sold him. I think their manager at the time was Dean Smith, and in a very Brighton kind of way, they've been able to replace Dean Smith with his assistant, which was Thomas Frank. And then they've replaced Thomas Frank with one of his coaching assistants, and Keith Andrews. So it shows that they have a good plan in terms of consistency. Their recruitment, again, it's cliche, but their recruitment has been really, really impressive because Igor Thiago is coming from a
11 appearances, 8 goals.
That's what I'm saying. It's been more
he
than
No
is-
competition.
He is
so-
no in the Premier League.
Premier
He's
League.
cooking.
He's been, I think, and it's back-to-back games because he scored last week as well.
Yep.
He's been having a really
Igor,
good
is he
season.
not a defender?
Igor Thiago.
No, that's
there's-
Igor Jesus. That's Igor Julio.
Good.
Yeah.
And it's
good.
because that guy
and they kind of look alike to a
Yeah.
little similar.
you're
I
talking about the Brentford striker.
good
Yeah.
Brentford striker, new guy. I think they brought him from the Jupiler League. I think he played for Club Brugge, if I'm not mistaken. Yes,
I think they bought him last season
But he
to
got
relieve
injured.
the load off Mbeumo and
Mhm.
then
Wissa.
Wissa, but he got injured.
yeah, he is absolutely cooking.
No, so I mean that the one that shocked me, the fact that he went and spent 42 million on Dango Ouattara from Bournemouth. But again, maybe they are seeing something that.
Dango Ouattara is a brilliant player.
Well, I'm not disputing that, but
You think it's too much money?
I think there's a Premier League tax, and I'm surprised they went along to.
Premier League clubs who are doing well don't have a problem paying Premier League tax on players who they think will deliver. I just think that's
I mean, you are not a big club. Why are you spending nearly 50 million on? I don't know.
No, that's what I'm telling you. That you see, people like Brentford are in the kind of financial position that teams like AC Milan are in. They can spend that kind of money.
better.
Exactly my point. So you look at them from a fan base perspective, but they have different money. They have good money to spend, and Nottingham Forest have taken the lead. I think that's Murillo.
Yeah, that's Mourinho.
Yeah, Nottingham Forest have taken the lead against Liverpool. Kwache is acting shocked. I'm telling you, your manager is not good. You're acting like you don't know. The manager is not good. It's 1-0 against Liverpool. It's 32 minutes played. And a slot, you have to earn your money. I don't think Isak has touched the ball 3 times in this first half. Again, like I've been complaining, star striker cannot seem to get a hold of the another dead ball goal against Liverpool. So ball whipped in, free header, ball headed down. He has a time to pick his spot.
Isak is playing him onside. That's the issue. I don't know if it'll be a line of sight problem, but it looks like when
Brilliant.
the ball was played, Isak was
The
playing.
ball was headed onto his foot, trapped it really well. First touch was really good. Second touch, bang, really good goal. Very, very good goal. He's a lefty, so that fell onto his stronger foot. He has
I
given.
think Alisson is appealing that he was in his line of sight.
He was not in any line of sight. It's a clear goal.
I don't
line
think.
of sight.
I don't.
Problem, he,
The goal stands.
Yeah, very good goal. I think I would have been surprised if that.
There was
that goal was not
nobody
given.
there. Say Alisson is not saving this.
Coach, quick thoughts
I
on
mean,
that one. Liverpool down by a goal.
That is what you want to they should have avoided, because you see, for a team that is set up in a
Yeah,
very
so-
low block, what you don't want to
Oh.
do is to give them something to keep on and to justify
I mean,
why they should be in that
just
low
on the
block.
fact that they had a goal turned down last week for very similar reasons. Because last 2 weeks, so before the international break, because with that same Van Dijk header, I don't think how do you call it, Donnarumma makes the save, but I don't think that was what the decision was made based off. But anyway, the decision stands and it's a goal. So.
1-0. You sound very pained, like you just know the Liverpool you've been watching all season. Anyway,
I mean, Anna Sloss is taking I mean, Amorim at the start of the season had his walking, pacing up and down on the touchline when things weren't going well. I'm used to that look from Slot now, looking like, is it going to happen today as well?
yeah,
And it's
I mean, another defeat at Anfield to Forest,
and his whole thing was he was complaining that another reason for all their defeats was that most of their games were away. So now that they are home at Anfield,
This is the
they
manager who was winning away games.
all kinds of excuses
He better focus on the
being delivered by the Slot. It's 2-0.
2-0.
It looked like it was coming. It's 2-0.
The flag is up.
The
Is it?
flag is up. They've considered
It's 2-0.
Alisson
What
is
are you
going to
talking
be
about? I don't know if this is going to be reviewed, but
They should review it. And
let's see again.
Flag went up. Come on.
Let's see
Let's
again.
see.
Referee looks like he is
if it touches
listening
his
to
If it touches his hand, we'll see.
interesting moments here. So Nottingham Forest look like they want to put Liverpool in a lot
Let's
of
see.
trouble.
Okay, handball. I think it to be given as a handball. It's a handball. His hand was involved.
Hey, I don't think so.
I don't think that's a handball. I don't think
We need
that
a
is.
closer.
I don't think that
Yeah,
is a
that's a
handball.
handball.
If that's a handball, that is a very harsh decision.
I don't think.
I think that is a clear goal.
Okay,
so
closer shot.
VAR will review this again. That is not a handball.
I don't think that's the best angle, but
even from a distance,
No, it's not a handball. It is not a handball.
I think that hit his chest. They probably struck his chin. I don't think that is a handball at all.
It's not a handball.
I don't think so. I feel like they should make a decision on this very quickly. There's been another goal at the West Ham game. West Ham have scored again in their goal. Espirito Santo is doing his thing over there. Looks like
It
Espirito
doesn't look
Santo.
like a handball.
Nope, this is 2-0. If I'll be
Oh, I
surprised,
think it's 2-0.
I'd be surprised if they don't give this. I'd be surprised if they don't give this. Tense moments there for Liverpool. Referee still deciding if there was a handball in the build-up to this game.
Oh,
it was a
They
handball.
ruled it though.
Wow, that is an incredulous decision. If
That-
I am Forest, I will feel very hard done by. Look, I like Liverpool, but that is a good goal. I'm not sure how that's been talked about. But West Ham have scored again, like I said. So it's 2-0 in that game. Guess who scored a goal again? I told you. Best in the game. Callum Wilson, 2-0.
I mean, against his former team, I
Yep.
don't know if there's any motivation there.
Well,
But
you see, I say Callum Wilson is a deadly finisher. I don't know why I try to act like you don't know.
well, he's a deadly finisher. But the problem
Deadly
is,
finisher. When he's fit and he's on the pitch, one of the best in the game. 2-0. Jean-Claire Todibo with the assist in that particular situation there. So West Ham leading by 2-0. Yeah, quick thoughts on Liverpool. Living dangerously, looking wobbly, everything. Like if you are a Liverpool fan in Anfield right now, you must be dreading what you're watching.
Yeah, most definitely. Because yes, the bad patterns are showing up again, or the patterns that should ring the alarm bells are showing up again. You concede a goal, and they haven't been too good at rallying from trailing goals recently. When the season started out, there was
Comeback kings.
There was slot time and all of that narrative. But after a 2-month spell, it all evaporated into thin air. And now they are having issues coming back or fighting their way back into games. So that's a wrong pattern that has showed up today or so far. Then you think about they conceding goals from set pieces. I mean, they should have been able to do a better job clearing their lines. But how did they even concede that corner in the first place? Because the way and they had a corner kick, and then Nottingham Forest got a counter attack out of it. But because unfortunately they were playing Ryan Graffenberg, an issue I raised earlier, they weren't able to necessarily defend it very well, and they ended up conceding that corner kick. And from that corner kick, eventually they ended up conceding that goal. So for me, it's just the patterns, the patterns that have been highlighted as major problems in this Liverpool team. That's what played out, and has brought about they conceding this goal. So if I'm a Liverpool fan, I'll be a bit worried. And they are a bit lucky that goal didn't stand, because if it had stood 2-0 against Nottingham Forest under Sean Dyche, that would have been pretty much curtains. But now they have a lifeline. So I wouldn't be surprised.
I think Forest has been robbed. Look, I've watched that replay. I don't see any handball. Like, I don't see when the ball struck the player's hand. Nobody can convince me that there was a handball this game. I mean,
but I think Liverpool will get back into this game, but
it
will be a struggle.
It won't be the best. Get back into the game when you cannot.
You can't test the opponent's goalkeeper. Like, how you getting back in the
game?
game?
Winning possession.
Winning
possession.
Isak is not doing anything.
Yeah, Isak has been literally a pedestrian in this game. He's been ball watching to see probably if something will fall his way. But I think that is where Arne Slot's coaching has been extremely poor for me, because your primary goal in this game should be getting the ball to the feet, or getting the ball in the areas where your most dangerous players can make use of them. And so far, Liverpool appear to be struggling to do that. There, we have it again on the back foot. So I think Forest can smell blood, really. One of their assistants has picked up a booking, from what I am seeing on my feed sheet, for complaining too much about that disallowed goal. So it's a feisty situation. Liverpool are reeling.
And you see the tentativeness of Milos Kerkez going forward. it has brought about a situation where you see before they started this possession, I saw Cody Gakpo drift deep into the middle, and it was just Mo Salah and Alexander Isak up the field. They were leading the attack, and so once you have a situation where there's a huge gap between Cody Gakpo, or no, that side of the field where Cody Gakpo should ideally be or situated, and Milos Kerkez, because he's overly worried about looking good defensively to make up for his offensive lapses. That's where the issue comes in. You give Nottingham Forest the chance to be able to build the attacks from there, knowing very well that Danundor is a very speedy customer in there, and so that's where the issues also stem from, because midfield they pretty much crowded out that midfield area, but then there's acres of space that Nottingham Forest can use as an outlet, and that for me is a bit problematic, and they should be able to win possession because Liverpool and Power, they are not even winning possession.
Nope, can't win possession in the final third, can't create in the final third, can't hold on to possession actually. So it's been a really sorry performance. Like I've told you guys, I've told you already, you don't seem to agree with me. Look, nothing is going to change in this team. If there are changes coming, you will see certain positives, like flickers of the positives here and there. Liverpool have looked a wobbly team since the season kicked off, and the manager has done nothing to address any of it. Every time opponents attack Liverpool, they look like they will concede a goal. And in this game, like we're saying, there's been no outside that Mohamed Salah incident where the chance was basically created out of individual brilliance. Liverpool have not tested the back line of Forest, and they have not tested the goalkeeper either. So I'm sure they're asking themselves right now, where is the danger going to come from? Where is a goal possibly going to come from?
You see, Liverpool under Jurgen Klopp and Slot the first year, because it was pretty much a Jurgen Klopp team. That Jurgen Klopp blueprint was all over that team. It was because of their intensity, not just in pressing team. No,
but the counter press. The counter press was.
But when you bring in Florian Wirtz, is he necessarily someone who helps you out in terms of pressing? He doesn't do that very well.
That is why I don't know why Chiesa doesn't play, because I've watched Chiesa play and I've watched Gakpo play, and I know who presses better.
I think the Wirtz one's quite unfair, because even from his Bayer Leverkusen days, the way Xabi Alonso used him, he's quite useful pressing.
Yes, true. But there's a difference between pressing in Germany and pressing in.
I think so.
In England,
I
the
think
intensity is major. Like there's a gap.
You know what I think? I feel like the how do you call it? The principles for pressing from both coaches are different, and that affects how your individual players will approach a press. For instance, people talk about Salah not doing much in the final third. Salah under Klopp was at least pressing his opponents in the final third.
But now
he's older. Right now.
But now he's older.
Yeah.
So you have to also factor that in. Now he's older. Then you bring in someone like, let's say, like I mentioned, Florian Wirtz. So in that sense, you have a bit of an issue.
Look at such selfish play by Mohamed Salah. That makes no sense. That sequence.
I think you were attempting a pass.
I think he was attempting a pass, and
it's just very indicative of the form right now.
That pass didn't make any sense. There were way better outlets for that pass.
The Trivela?
Yeah.
If they were trying the Trivela to where Isak is.
Oh,
but then
please, come on.
I don't know what.
that was an apology of a Trivela.
So, if you have a situation where Mo Salah is a bit compromised when it comes to the press, and Florian Wirtz, who's supposed to play as a 10, is also compromised.
Barcelona have scored again.
Offside.
Then it means that your chances of being able to create chances by pressing teams and taking the ball off them is also compromised. And so that is also another element that needs to be watched, because guys that were pressing for free for Liverpool back in the day are no longer there. Darwin Núñez will press and press and press for free. Like, he can do it for days.
Yep.
Luis Diaz can do it for days.
They didn't even need to be told to do it. That's literally in their DNA.
That's also compromised. Especially he's compromised them, especially from the attacking point of view. And
Look at
the,
Kobe Gakpo.
the ripple effects is being seen. It's affecting the midfield. Now look at Grafenberg and McAllister. They are not the same.
Yeah.
It's affecting the defense. You look at Konate, you look at Van Dijk. They are not the same.
Gakpo doesn't press. Gakpo.
Oh, but at least he's better than Mohamed Salah.
But,
In
but
terms
look
of
at,
the
no, you see,
pressing.
in terms of the press, he doesn't press. At his age, he should be pressing better.
I think-
you just highlighted Luis Diaz, who is older than Gakpo, but he was pressing better.
I think Diaz is naturally a more aggressive player than Gakpo. Gakpo is a very laid back
refined,
player,
yeah,
gentle guy. Anyway, if you go to the Bundesliga, Bayern have scored again. So it's 3-2 in that game now. Bayern do this all the time in the Bundesliga. So Dayo Upamecano has scored, and Michael Olise is putting on it. So he has assisted again. So 2 assists and a goal for Michael Olise. It's literally the Michael Olise show in Germany.
But this thought just came to mind. You look at every great team has some kind of quote unquote Takashi player in there. This Liverpool team, do they have such players in there?
That is the problem, and that's
I
Wataru
don't
Endo.
see.
That's
I don't
the kind of
see-
guy they have in Wataru Endo. That's the kind of guy they have
Chiesa.
in Federico Chiesa, but they will not play him. That's
I
the
don't
problem.
see it because this team,
And his lot says that the underlying principle for his system is to control possession. Liverpool control absolutely nothing. Nothing. They don't control anything in the game. Not possession, not second balls.
because you are not
nothing.
even winning the possession. So how can you control
the
it?
game, yeah.
And so that Takashi thing is needed. Even the Galactico era, they still had
You
Makelele.
need some
in
player
there.
with some grit
They had Makelele in
and
there.
aggression, some bravery.
Yes,
be able to
they were
put in
doing
tackles.
all those dirty works. The Manchester United teams of old, Roy Keane would do it for free.
Yep. They don't have it now.
So it's a bit problematic.
It's time added on in the first half. Nothing going well for Liverpool. You can tell their confidence is in
down.
the pits, completely in the pits. Let me read a few messages. I saw a few interesting messages. So Courage from Ashaiman says, "Good afternoon, guys. Isak is conspicuously lost in the game. I thought he was on the bench, praying Newcastle beats City today and Arsenal wins tomorrow. Regards to coach. Hashtag Gunners." Nana Kwame from Sunyane says, "Hi Ben, Liverpool have an Ibrahim Konate problem." I think he was one of the people who was lost in the build up to that goal. Brown Sugar says, "I think you should rather be comparing Sesko to Voltmada because the last I checked, Newcastle wanted Sesko and he rejected them." Voltmada has been really good as well, actually.
So let's add him. Don't compare only him and Sesko. Add him to the equation.
Uche,
You understand?
Yep. Our good friend Uche listening from Kaneki.
Voltmada, how many goals has he scored?
He's got at least.
I think he has 10 goals in all competitions.
10
I mean,
goals.
for club and country at least.
Oh, Charlie, you can't league now. You pay that. So you always when the Man United players
You want to sneak.
sneak in so many things. What is that?
I'll find out the Voltmada
no,
stats
no,
for you.
I'll
Uche from Kaneshi says, "Good afternoon, my people. Chelsea, Liverpool,
Ekitike has scored 3
United,
goals.
all of them
I know.
will win this week." Liverpool are struggling now, brother. Seth from Botiano says, "I don't understand Slot again. Playing Curtis Jones at right back when Gomez is on the bench. I just don't understand." So, what he's talking, I think Jones and Soboslai have been interchanging places. When Soboslai goes forward, Jones goes in to fill that right back slot he leaves behind.
Yeah,
And then-
Waltmada in the Premier League, he's played 8 games. He scored 4.
Yeah.
yeah, 50%.
50% half. Yeah,
That's
good.
decent.
That's a decent.
very
rate.
very decent actually, for a player who was very little known.
And all their goals
coming
in other competitions don't count. As
No, we are
No.
still on the Premier League.
Other
so-
competitions.
If it's the Champions League,
but I think that for
can be
you to
Somebody
understand-
doesn't play in Champions League. But what do
I
you
just
do with
think in order to understand the full
it?
aspect,
You've other country goes everything.
I mean, the Champions League.
yeah,
Waltmada
added
has-
preseason
The
and
Champions
everything.
League, Waltmada has made 4 appearances and he scored a goal.
Nothing significant. So, Premier League is still doing well, which is good. 0549 986 996 0549 986 996 is the Republic of Football, live on 97.3 City FM. We are also live on YouTube at City Sports GH. We're on Tanowan TV. We're on X or Twitter at City973. It's half time, I believe. in that game involving Liverpool and Nottingham Forest. At halftime, it's Nottingham Forest 1, Liverpool 0. Liverpool are lucky to be down by just 1-0. Very uninspiring performance from the Reds in the first half. Can Arne Slot fire up his charges? He's looking up a PTSD situation where they lost a game like this, very similar type of game. Forest were scrappy, pounced on the counter, and managed to run away with all 3 points when it was all said and done. We'll take our first break at the top of the hour. But let me take some thoughts from Coach Christopher Nimley, and then I'll get some more thoughts from the guys. Coach, 1-0 Liverpool are losing. Very, very worrying performance from the Reds.
It's a very concerning one, or truth be told, because the game we've watched, they've not had any sustained sort of dominance in terms of trying to more or less suppress Nottingham Forest in their half. Forest themselves have decided to do a low block, but if a team goes low block, the one with the possession should have a sustained amount of possession. In the final attacking third, I think too many touches on the part of Gakpo. Watch him. Anytime he picks up the ball, he keeps ignoring the run of Kekes. And one would have hoped that these are the sort of things that the manager will clearly be pointing out to him. Because once you allow the fullback to come on the overlap, run to give you the options, there must be a variation, or there must be absolute variation in what you do. There are times you go to him, there are times you don't go to him. And in all occasions, you should make sure that you should get the passing right. We've not seen that from Gakpo. In midfield, I've not seen Gravenberg. He's not controlled anything decent. Together with McAllister, they've not controlled anything decent at all
In this game.
There's been nothing decent in the game. And I think these are serious issues, and the coach must be very worried. He must be very worried if that is the way they are going to go about it. What a beautiful play. Lami Yamado Nimbobo.
I like how you're making a submission.
He will play against Gideon Mensah.
Oh, Liverpool. Don't do this.
I will draw against Spain, then he will play against Gideon Mensah.
So and his slot in that dressing room. Look at that. Beautiful. What? This is technical. What? Oh my goodness. You see, this is proper technique. Oh Charlie. You see, so like I'm saying, and his slot in that dressing room cannot and should not be happy. He I don't know whether it's time to pull the hair dry. He himself, he doesn't have what?
This slot. Well,
he should be combing his own hair by now and showing it to the players. Look, this is substandard. I don't know whether it's a matter of they're lacking in confidence. It's like we all could count the number of times he touched the ball.
I'll get stats on that for you in a bit.
And he's the lead. He's the main man. This is supposed to be that dream move that completely allows him to take the world by storm, or virtually steps into the Premier League and dominate everybody there.
It's not happening so far.
It is just not happening. I think there's an injury to a Barcelona player. I think it's Balde.
He went down earlier in the game and had to be treated. I think he's had to go down again. I don't know if he will be able to continue.
It's not anything to do with his foot. So I think maybe he's a bit dizzy, or he might have crashed into a player. But that he's been one of their best players, no two ways about that. He's given them a proper outlet. Let's look at that. The guy stepped.
It's hard to see exactly what happened in that situation, but
I think he should be fine.
Yeah,
I think he should be fine.
Anyway, let me just give you an update of the scores generally. But Liverpool losing at Anfield by 1-0. If you watch the game, you won't be too surprised. It's not.
It's a bit shocking that
best
Nuno's West Ham are leading 2-0.
Up 2-0
at Bournemouth.
Which is not a not an easy place to go, but Bournemouth have been very shaky. Like I rightly mentioned, their good form happens to have coincided with Semenyo's good form. He's not been in great form recently, missed a penalty in their last game, and it looks like everything good they do is tied to him. When he's not in form, they just can't seem to keep up. Brentford are losing, or they are winning away from home as well. So it's been a good day for away teams. Chelsea, remember, won away from home today at Turf Moor 2-0. West Ham currently leading away from home by 2-0. Brentford are 1 goal up away from home against Brighton. Fulham Sunderland is still locked at goalless. Sunderland have had a really good opportunity here and there. They have not scored though. Forest are leading Liverpool, and then between Wolves, I believe Rob Edwards has taken over at Wolves. His era is currently underway. They are goalless against Crystal Palace. There's a game at 5:30 between Newcastle and Manchester City. But the big news is that Liverpool are losing at Anfield to Nottingham Forest. Kwache, let me take your thoughts on the half that you just witnessed. Liverpool can't create chances, still look vulnerable on set pieces, and they cannot seem to break Forest down. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, again, for Slot, it looks like him just trying the same thing he's tried all season and having the same results and not being moved to change it. They're making a point about the Van Dijk disallowed goal last week, which is similar, because I think the player for the Murillo goal, I think there was a player that was standing between. There was a player in Alisson's line of vision.
It's a bit of inconsistency.
It's a bit of inconsistency, because last week because Robertson even dug out of the way. He tried to get out of the way, and how do you call it? Donnarumma had full vision of the ball, but that was deemed to have been him interfering with play. But then you have a similar situation this week, and then but in the decision making during the game has been inconsistent, even regarding the goal that was disallowed. I don't think Liverpool should have been reliant on that. They know what they need to do at this point, given how many games they've lost in a row, given even the game that they won, the game against Aston Villa. The first goal they got was given to them on the plates. Martinez was passing the ball out to the net, and it felt Salah, and then Salah was able to
I remember.
score. And that's
that
how
Aston Villa game is one of the most useless performances I've seen from a team this season. Villa literally just, like Coach likes to say, presented themselves to be beaten in that game. It's almost as if they had not watched any of the teams that had beaten Liverpool this season and how they had done it. I'm not sure how they did.
And that's the thing. So now the only win you have, even in that, it was an unconvincing win.
Yeah.
And it's been an unconvincing season, like you've been saying.
They beat Real Madrid and they thought they were back. That was a big win.
I mean, the Real Madrid game, I have to give them credit. That was a big game. But again, different.
To be honest, that's how I expect the kind of intensity, concentration levels, and application they showed in that game. I thought that after winning that game, that would have been the benchmark for how they approached every game.
No, but I think maybe they just struggle against, again, like I said, with this new tactic innovations. I think they struggle against teams that are not, as much as Real Madrid will try and adapt to Liverpool, they are still going out to go and play their style. Xabi Alonso himself is now trying to implement his style of play. I don't think he's going to necessarily just be tweaking it just to accommodate Liverpool. So you always have a team that's going to play their way, but now you have other teams studying you and coming to almost be an antidote to the way you are now trying to play. And that's a different challenge for him, and I think that's what Slot is struggling with. And the more he makes it known that he's struggling to deal with the different things that they're trying against him, the more other managers will try and realize that when we come and play Liverpool, like you said, what Villa failed to do, we can't just come and play the same regular thing we want to do. We have to try and analyze what they've been suffering with recently. And I think that's another key point to Forest, which is one of their own strengths already, but they have a set piece that
this is not a good decision at all.
That's not handball.
That's not a good decision at all.
Yeah, that's not handball.
I don't know what the VR people were doing in that room. I'm not sure what they were doing. Forest will be very, very aggrieved by that decision. That was a good goal. That should have stood 2-0, and the complexion of this game would be completely different. Meanwhile, Barcelona are doing their own thing in their game against Bilbao. I wonder what Michael Owen has to say about all this. Yeah, let me take your thoughts on Liverpool and their struggles. So, is there a case where they turn this around? Will we see some better, I would say, intensity from them in the next 45? Because they don't look like a team that are even losing a game. Like, it's like they don't care that they are losing the game.
Yeah, I do see them scrambling their way back into this game, where they will just throw everything at Nottingham Forest, and at some point there will be a mistake in there. Then maybe Liverpool might be able to get in a scrappy goal. Then from then they build on that. So honestly, it's the sliding windows, sliding door moment in football. The one moment that had to go in for Nottingham Forest to be able to more or less put a seal on the win in this game was that handball incident. The lead up to the second goal that got chopped off. After that goal got chopped off, and seeing how Liverpool normally tend to be able to tip the scales from scrambling around and being able to get a goal, I do see. I have this funny feeling that Liverpool will be able to scramble their way back into this game, then be able to use a little bit of a individual player quality to be able to get a second goal and get a win. But so far, so messy, and it goes against anything and everything that Ancelotti stood for when he came into the Premier League. And after his first game, I think after the first 45 minutes, he took off Jarrell Kwanzaa. And he was
Athletic Bilbao.
and he was asked why
your
he
good
took
friend
off,
Nico Williams.
Yeah, Nico Williams. And he was asked why he took off Jarrell Kwanzaa. And he stated that Jarrell Kwanzaa was losing aerial duels. And if you are losing out on your one-on-one battles, on the 50-50 challenges, then there's no need to talk about tactics when you are missing out on those 50-50 challenges.
So he sees all that, but he doesn't see Gakpo on the pitch.
You see. So
he's a hypocrite,
when you look
that
at
manager.
this statement, and when you look at what we just saw, then they need to go back to the basics, because other than that, they are not going to have enough possession to be able to seriously put Nottingham Forest under tremendous pressure and force them to make a mistake, because I don't see Liverpool being able to play their way through this Nottingham Forest defense. And so it has to come off incessant pressure, force them to make a mistake.
Exactly.
Then you'll be able to build on that.
And that's a good point to make, because I always say that one of the ways I judge how good a manager is what your team look like with a system attacking. If all your credible chances or opportunities come from individual play, you're not a good manager. When your team is attacking, or when your team goes, or a team goes low block against you, you should have an idea of how to move the ball, how to move players, so you can pull your opponents out and get a chance. There should be a way to fashion out chances through dead balls. There should be like multiple ways of trying to unlock your opponents. I don't see. That's why I'm telling guys that this guy, they need to fire him, because nothing will change. Oh no, I'm serious. Look, I'll give you an example. It's the same thing United keep doing with Eric Ten Hag, like dilly dallying. Like you know that the guy eventually you sack him, but you are trying to then he will win like 2 games in between, make you happy again, and go back to the 4 settings. Like I'm saying, unless Ancelotti can go on a 5, 7, 8 game winning streak, I don't see how he gets Liverpool back into contention for reaching their potential. In fact, forget about even title contention. I am most scared about this team not being able to reach their potential. Ancelotti, if they leave Isak with Ancelotti for 2 years, we'll be calling Isak a bum. I'm telling you, if they leave him with Isak for 2 years, look at, he can't get the best out of any of his big players. Wirtz is looking lost, everybody's on his back. Isak is looking lost, everybody is on his back. You can't get the best out of Milos. Kekes all of a sudden looks like a championship level player under your watch. You bought a right back in Jeremy Frimpong, and all of a sudden he's not good enough to play, so a central midfielder is taking his place. There's just too much going on with a team. You see, it's not even about always getting the best out of a new player. You need to be able to fire up a team that's not doing well. He's not doing that for me so far. It's just really sad to watch Liverpool go this way, because they have the talent.
Is to complain.
Yeah,
he's very good at that.
I'm sure you say that.
Long balls. We are not playing.
I'm sure this guy didn't send him the tactics, so he didn't know that this is the strategy that was coming. They should have sent him the tactics like 48 hours ahead of time, just so he would have gotten a good idea what was coming. But so far, it's not been pretty for Liverpool. When you go to the other match venues, like I said, Fulham are also back. I think they are almost back on the pitch in that game. Just thoughts on that game. It's goalless between Fulham and Sunderland. And then quickly touch on Wolves Palace for me as well.
Fulham need to start getting some wins on the board. I think they're coming up against a challenge against Sunderland, but I think it's a good time to play Sunderland, especially away from home. So I think because Fulham are looking to be involved in a relegation battle now, but with West Ham's win now, however, just they get up to 13 points, and I think they go up to 16th in the table. They go clear of the relegation zone. So in terms of Nuno, I think that's a positive. But there are other teams that are at the bottom that could make them struggle with that. That could make them struggle. Fulham haven't been able to. They waited until the last minute of the transfer window to sign players. I think that's one of the things Marco Silva has been complaining about. They got Chukwueze, and they got it's a really good Shakhtar Donetsk Brazilian winger, I think, called Kelvin. They
say the name like the FIFA commentator, Chukwueze. Chukwueze. I say the name like Chukwueze. Say the name like that. It's a second goal for Nottingham Forest.
Oh goodness,
Manuel Kwate, what are you going to say now? I like your faith in the manager, but when the manager is no good, I see this guy. If I see a manager, this guy is not good. This manager is not good.
I'm not backing him. I'm just saying that I don't think that they will sack him.
46th minute, like Liverpool just stepped. They barely breathed in the air on that pitch, and the ball is in the back of the net again. Guys, it's 2-0. Nottingham Forest lead.
Look at that. Who was that?
The defender was nutmegged. That is such a good goal.
McAllister.
Yep. Liverpool in 6s and 7s at the back. Mohamed Salah nutmeg from the baseline. Easy, does it. 2-0 Nottingham Forest. Look at beautiful skyline in Merseyside, actually.
Like a sunset.
Yeah, it's a very beautiful skyline over there. See this guy, the Ginger Mourinho. The Ginger Mourinho is a battle of the baldies, and the Ginger Mourinho is coming out, or he's completely showing up, and it's not coach.
It's not a good sign if you come out of the dressing room
and then immediately.
And you concede in the next 3 minutes. It means that
they conceded in the 46th minute, literally 60 seconds after coming out.
It means that your team wasn't prepared.
Yeah.
Your team wasn't prepared, and so that is not a good look.
Yeah.
And then, your game plan might not work, your game plan might go a bit out of sync, but at least it should show that you were prepared.
Yeah.
So that's not a good sign for any manager at all. That you come out from the break, and this is something that I saw under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Yes.
When things were going wrong for him, going bad for him, that Man United will concede goals in the first 3 minutes of games. After the break, first 2-3 minutes, they'll come out and they don't look prepared. It's a bad sign. It's a very, very bad sign. And I'm horrified by what I've seen. Conceding such a goal that early in the second half.
Reeks of mental unpreparedness. So
McAllister should have done better.
Coach,
I didn't be like that.
Yeah. Just give me your thoughts on that.
You saw the pass from Lamine Yamal. Oh my goodness!
Barca have scored.
Yeah, they've scored.
Barca have scored a second goal.
Hey man, what?
Liverpool could use. They could use a Lamine Yamal in their system.
If you saw the pass,
look at Andy Slot looking.
If you saw the pass.
Yeah.
Brilliant pass.
Nico Williams is wishing he had joined his friend. Look at this again.
So, just one time pass.
That's what Mohamed Salah was trying to do. The Trivela outside of the boot pass. Yeah.
Unai Simon has been disappointing on both goals.
Very.
Oh no, Unai Simon.
Very. This ball slapped against his foot and then against his hand.
He should be using his foot.
Yeah. Very unconvincing there. So 2-0. Barca lead Bilbao. Looks like life at the new Camp Nou. It's going really well. So Gakpo on the offensive. That's him. He gets the ball. Come out.
He again ignored the run.
One trick pony.
He ignored the run of Kekes.
Oh my goodness.
And normally if you're a winger, you see, he's an inverted left winger. It is okay when you want to cut onto your right foot. But what Forest are doing is that they have that extra player on his right foot. So the moment he cuts there, that player steps in.
And if they know that
somebody's giving you the decoy,
so use it.
That's a lovely stadium. Just
use it.
Oh yeah, definitely. The NFL will play a game here next year. Oh yeah. I mean, once the Real Madrid renovated the Bernabeu, yes, just last 2 weeks or last week, they played a game there. And so yeah, with this renovated stadium, the NFL will definitely come calling.
Well, Nottingham Forest sprinkling salt in the wounds of Liverpool. Logical Boateng 1224 says, hi Ben, Logical here, watching from Kumasi. You're doing a fantastic job, kudos. Big ups to you and all the people watching from a circle room. Redeemer Selom says that I'm watching from Virginia. I'm watching the Liverpool game on TV and watching you guys on my phone. Nice. Bayern Munich are 4 goals up. It's 4-2 in that game against Freiburg. So I knew that would happen. Let me read a few messages and then we'll get back to talking about the game. So Paul from Chile says, Ben, watching Liverpool versus Forest is heartbreaking. A few observations over the number of matches Liverpool have played. 1, Mo Salah is not dribbling any defender and passing the ball to his teammates to make meaningful impact. He doesn't deserve 90 minutes in any Liverpool game until he improves.
If he doesn't, who does?
I'm wondering.
From what we are watching,
he's the one with the credit in the bank.
He's the one with the credit in the bank.
Yeah, Cody Gakpo. He says he plays like someone suffering from a heartback. He says his impact. I think we want to say hands back. He says his impact has been zilch and he must not play again until he improves. Van Dijk, he is not as good as football wants us to believe. He is not. He isn't much compared to Terry, Carvalho and co. Van Dijk must come from the bench. Konate, useless defending, whose reading of the game is suspect and elementary, has been played for a long time to learn the game, but he's not improving. He should be sold or let go for free. Keke's wrong purchase by Slot. Robertson miles ahead, must not be starting game. McAllister also not improving since the start of the season. Liverpool must look for a replacement ace. So this guy going on and on.
So why didn't he start Ekitike?
Surprising to me.
No, I mean, you need some balance in the team, and when you start Ekitike,
no, but
Mo
Isak
Salah
hasn't
and
played.
Isak.
He's coming from injury.
Yeah.
So start Ekitike.
Well,
I mean,
Forest have another corner.
He worked with Isak throughout the international break, so.
Well, another corner here means more danger for Liverpool. This time around, Forest don't make much of it. Liverpool fans must be stunned.
Like I said, I don't get why he hasn't changed anything, because it hasn't worked for the best part of an hour in there.
He's clueless.
So, when the manager doesn't have
He's
idea,
clueless.
what will you do?
No, but like you're saying, Ekitike could come on.
I always say that one of the things, right, if you're a manager that does or helps you to do an easier job is picking the right starting lineup. When you pick the right starting lineup, that's about 50% of your job done. When you don't pick the right starting lineup, you'll be grappling with the rest of the game. Now, I don't think this was Liverpool's best starting lineup for this game
at all.
Based on, surface knowledge. I don't know what he's seen in training. I don't know who has a knock and whatnot. But like everybody's been clamoring, Liverpool's left wing has been problematic. We can all see how the left wing changes when there's a change of personnel. Unfortunately, the manager doesn't see it, so that obviously will be a problem for the foreseeable future.
The thing I was talking about initially, like you have your two strikers, you see who has been more performing better. You're under no obligation to pick the one that's more expensive just because he's more expensive. You pick your informed striker, you pick Ekitike, because Isak hasn't also, like Coach was saying, he hasn't been able to get into this game.
Yeah,
he's a lethal striker. He could get one chance and finish it, but I don't think that would justify it.
He's left the ball behind.
What? Oh my goodness! Shout outs to Smiley, Gerald Crack, and the guys on the After the Whistle podcast. I was telling them that if I'm a fullback, Gakpo is never getting past me. Like not once will on to me trim it down. Like not once, because this guy doesn't have anything to break me down. I know he will slow down the game and then try and do that Thierry Henry flip and dash. But you are not getting past me with that, bro. Like any fullback who's watched some tape of what you do, your tendencies and your abilities, will have your game figured out in the first 5 minutes or 10 minutes. You have players on the bench who have a better element of unpredictability about them. You are not using them. I'm just shocked at the quality of coaching happening at Liverpool, and everybody looks frustrated. Look at Ibrahima Konate huffing and puffing. Looks like Liverpool are about to make what, 3
they're taking
changes?
him off.
Yeah, Konate has been complete.
He's shocked. He's a bit shocked.
Why should he be shocked?
I would have kept him, then I would have withdrawn Van Dijk.
Yeah,
I would have kept him because you see,
I think Liverpool.
there was 4 occasions just in the second half.
Yeah,
He read the ball better. He recovered, and Van Dijk was nowhere to be found.
he is upset.
The 2 of them are flat. But he is not. He is supposed to be doing the sweeping. He is supposed to be doing the tackling.
Yeah.
And Van Dijk picking up the loose balls. But rather, he's doing both. We've watched the game. Van Dijk hasn't taken up. Look at Gakpo.
He has not beaten his man once in this game. Why is the coach doing this? Oh goodness.
What's the system supposed to be now? Because he has one centre back.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
know. I'm wondering what's
he
going
will
on.
do is he's
one
going
fullback.
4-4-2, and then he's withdrawn. He will withdraw Gravenberg to come alongside Van Dijk, and then he's put Curtis Jones to right back, and he's brought Soboslai in the middle.
So
That's
was
what I'm
like
saying. So
McAllister.
out of your defense, you have one defender, and the rest are midfielders.
Yes.
Yep.
And fullback.
And I mean, and
This is very, very interesting coaching there from Anis.
has slow starts to the season.
Yeah, but this
Yeah,
is
because
extra
for the
slow.
most part, most of the seasons that he's excelled with Newcastle and all, the
One.
season starts,
Oh
he's either injured or he's coming off an injury.
Yeah.
So he starts a bit slow. Then as the season goes on, he picks up form. So for him, yeah, I'll go a bit easy on him. I'll just
No, I think
relax a little
I
bit,
think
but-
that as for him, a lot of people are willing to give him the benefit of the doubt because they've seen him do it in England. So it's like, okay, maybe the manager is
There's
bad.
no preseason
Maybe
and all that.
the team
You can
is
give
not
the benefit of the
clicking.
doubt.
But at some point, people will begin to question your abilities. And I always say that strikers' confidence is always hinged on scoring goals. The longer a goal drought endures for you, the more your confidence dips every single time when you are playing. If you are missing near chances and all of that, it's just hard for you to keep going. So let's just see how it goes. Liverpool really have been crying out for some creativity in this game. Let me take you on a sweep around Europe really quickly, just to give you a sense of the goals that are happening.
So, Manuel, you remember this is what we are saying. They've lost 5 already. This could be number 6.
Very interesting happenings here. United fans are smiling and just being excited about what's happening. Let's take a break. Actually, when we come back, we'll get into that sweep of the European games, and then we'll get to more talking. Stay with us here as the Republic of Football on 97.3 City FM. We'll be right back. Germany Ketia here. The Republic of Football is live on 97.3 City FM. We're also live on YouTube at City Sports GH. We're live on X or Twitter at City973's official handle. Also live on Channel 1 TV. Basically, we're everywhere. Manuel Kwache, Coach Christopher Nimley, and Yao Jeminta in the mix with me. So a few updates here and there. As far as the Premier League is concerned, when you get back to the scoreboard, okay, so
Gravenberg is catching the ball. Oh, Gravenberg.
you're having too much fun with this.
Gravenberg.
AFC Bournemouth are down by 2-0
This
at
ball,
home.
Endo should be playing this match.
Oh, the coach says
Look,
that
look,
Endo is not good enough. Can you imagine? Anyway, Brentford lead Brighton by 1-0. Fulham and Sunderland are still drawing goalless. And then Liverpool losing by 2-0. Crystal Palace are up by 2-0 against Wolverhampton Wanderers. So if you look at the goal scorer, Yeremy Pino with the goal, Adam Wharton. Yeremy Pino with the goal, Adam Wharton with the assist in that goal. Yeah, Adam Wharton is definitely good. If Liverpool had an Adam Wharton type player, Gravenberg would have been free to be doing his primary role. But these days, he has to be part-time centre back, part-time number 6, part-time AMC, and a shadow striker on top because Anna Slot has liberated him. Amazing coaching. Anyway, that's what's going on. Let me run through the leagues real quickly. Give you an update on what's happening everywhere. Quite a number of updates to bring you. When you go to Spain, that Barcelona game, I believe, is in its second half. So it's 2-0. So advantage Barca. Earlier, Deportivo Alaves lost to Celta Vigo by 1-0. 1-0. Osasuna play Real Sociedad a little later.
Substitution is set out.
Villarreal to play Mallorca.
Keke's out.
Weird.
I say
Gakpo is the. I was telling you people that Gakpo is the one, and his lot has built his team around. Like, how can you do this? How do you do? How do you do this? It's like it was almost. It's like United deciding to build their team around Garnacho on the left hand side when everybody could tell that Garnacho is not the guy to build your team
at
around.
all.
Like in a lot of the games that Liverpool have played, Gakpo is the one who always ends up in the dangerous positions to finish a chance. He'll hit the ball twice, he'll hit the post twice and finish one chance, and then it's a lot to come and tell us that he was good, and so you couldn't take him out of the game. It's extremely frustrating to watch. Anyway, I wonder how the Anfield faithful feel like in the stadium if Kwache is feeling like this in the studio. Anyway,
it's disappointing. It's just disappointing to see how the team not be able to play with any proper connection and fluidity.
Yeah, and it's not one of them teams where you can say that they lack quality and so they need to go and buy quality from.
And that's what I was about to say. I would, if they were going to reinvest in the squad, would they even be certain where they would spend the money now? Given how much
Liverpool still need to buy a defensive midfielder. They still don't have the natural DM in this team is the guy the coach insists he will not play. I'm not sure why. Endo is the only natural DM in this team. Some way, somehow, the manager only wants to play him as a measure of last resort. Like when he has absolutely no option.
Bringing him in the last minute of games. I don't know what that's supposed to do for the confidence of the player.
Yeah.
And because Endo came to Liverpool and he was really excited to join Liverpool from Stuttgart because they had a Japanese connection too.
And the funny thing is that there's nothing better with players like that. They will run 150 minutes for you if you want, just purely because of one, how much they love the team themselves, how much they feel like it's an honor to be playing for the club.
During pre-season, I'll give Slot a little credit. He had a nice touch. When Liverpool were in Japan, he made Endo captain for the day.
What are you talking about?
But those ones are for commercial purposes.
Commercial purposes.
You will be pressured to do so. Even if
is
you
that
don't
what you are crediting him for?
Do it.
I'm pointing out that Endo, at least at the start of the season, it looked like
scored 3.
Yeah,
looked like he would have more of an opportunity than he was given.
Foul, referee foul ball.
Wow.
They're 3-0 up. Barca are 3-0 up in their game. Bayern have won their game by 6 goals to 2.
You see that Konate is not there. Van Dijk is being exposed. He has to be getting a yellow card. Look at him. Instead of tackling, look at his look.
Come on. This who was marking the space or defending the space.
Van Dijk is being exposed week in, week out.
The guy is making a run. Track him. Run with him.
Yeah.
You're letting him run.
I think there's been an equalizer. I'm not. Let me just clarify that game. Danny Welbeck has scored for Brighton and Hove Albion. Classic knee tacky Welbeck. Off to the World Cup we go. Off to the World Cup we go. It's 1-1 between Brighton and Hove Albion and Brentford. Like I said, Danny Welbeck has scored again. It's Danny Welbeck again and again and again.
Top player. I mean, he deserves it.
I think so. Let me check how many goals. Let me check how many goals he's on this season. More goals than most people.
I think last season was the first season hitting double figures when he got 10. So
yeah,
he's just following up from that. And Forest have a dangerous opportunity.
Oh, baby, no go.
They're scoring this.
I don't think they'll score, but
the world did his job. Fair play to them. Fair play to them.
Well, still a very interesting game. I don't remember what last time Liverpool were this bad in a game. Like, they've not tested Martials once in that post. Not once have they tested the goalkeeper or tried to get him to even work.
He's frustrated.
He's throwing his hand in tantrums in the air. Gakpo. Nothing is going on. And you see, everybody looks confused. Now, after the changes he made, I don't know where Keza is playing. I don't know where Ekitike is playing. Ekitike is on the left. Keza rather should go on the left. Ekitike should go in the middle. Rather, Gakpo is the one leading the line now.
Yeah.
The coach is a confused manager.
Well, it's 11 appearances for Danny Welbeck. It's 6 Premier League goals on the season for him. So he is cooking. That's what's going on with Danny Welbeck. Ken Currency says the second goal Liverpool conceded only shows he is losing the dressing room and the boys want him away because the boys just don't want to take anything from him anymore. Lone Wolf from Dakoman says, guys, talk about the incident that led to the corner. Fast forward the first goal. Konate lost a single ball and it cost us. I want to continue, but all I can say now is Anna Slot and Otoado must go now. How did you lump Otto into Anna Slot's predicament? Wow. Guys, Kwame from Teshi says, another weekend, another day to think about, an excuse to give to my colleagues at work on Monday. Slot is really that bad. Right now, you've turned Liverpool fans into liars. Like, they have to cook up excuses to go and tell their colleagues at work when you lose games, like stressing out the fan base. Patrice from Tema says, the only rabbi we have in sports, Numo coach Nyame Christopher Nimni. Charlie, the guy named long. David from Ashoman says, hey, so we were made to believe Nico Jackson was that bad without taking penalties and giving us these numbers for Chelsea to bring Liam Delap as our striker. This one here says Chelsea won by 2 goals and Barca are winning by 2 goals. Barca are up by 3 actually. Amegani Abegasia ni Yehu Amega Hoho, you say? Ayuba Halilu. It says I will soon Ayuba Halilu from Kaswa, but now in Pokwase. Very soon I will be in Spintex or Committee 25. Charlie, decide where you are. Tommy Lee says that coach, normally you know that City will win, so you don't want to talk about my team. Man City, they are.
But it's not time for them.
That is a tight game. But that's a very and that's at St James's Park. That's a difficult game actually. Uche from Kaneshi says, I will not take a shower until Sesko scores a hat-trick. Glory, Man United. And then you take a shower. Felix from Spaintex says that, my boss, I beg, talk about Man City, okay? Don't worry, we will get into City in a bit. That game is at 5:30. We'll preview that before we are out of here. But Liverpool still struggling. 75 minutes played in that game. Still nothing really significant. I think the City Newcastle lineups will be out, so let me get to that game so we can give you an idea of who will be participating in a bit. But The big news is that Liverpool are losing 2-0. I know anything you've seen, anything you want to key in on?
No, in terms of Liverpool, I haven't. They don't look like this is the game that they are going to come alive in. Like I said, they look a little disorganized with substitutions that have been made. I don't know how much practice they've had with these players on the pitch, but like I said, with only one centre back and now one full back, they replaced Kekes with Robertson.
And somebody's going to be given a red card.
That's what I'm saying. So now it looks like when he gets the ball, he has to give it to a
going to be given a
midfielder.
red card.
And Soboslai too. If you look at him on the far right of the screen, he's now drifting into midfield. He must be exhausted.
Yeah, he's done everything today. He's been everywhere for Liverpool today.
But now he plays as a fullback. If they lose the ball, he has to run all the way back to fullback, and that's. I don't know how sustainable this is long term. In terms of this game, you also have a very hard opponent in Nottingham Forest, who also if they win this, they also go outside of the relegation zone.
It's big motivation for them.
And so that pushes, I think, Burnley and Leeds United. Two of the promoted
Yeah, we
teams
do have a
into
sending off in the Barca game. I think that's Ohio and Sunset.
It's a very stupid tackle. He just kicked into the player's knee.
Yeah. Sunset's attacking midfielder for Bilbao has been sent off in that game. They're down by 3-0. I'm not sure why he's engaging in such a tackle, but we have the Newcastle City lineups there. So Eddie Howe goes with a 4-3-3 today. Pope is in post. Livramento, Thiaw, and Cher, and then Hall completes the back four. Sandro Tonali, Joelinton, and Bruno Guimaraes, they know each other too well, the trio, you can call them. And then up front, Voltmada, Harvey Barnes, and Jacob Murphy. Pep Guardiola is doing something similar with Manchester City's a 4-3-3. Donnarumma is in post for them. Has really struggled with Italy over the international break. Probably he'll be hoping for some respite with City. Mateus Nunes back in his new favourite right back spot. Ruben Diaz, Josko Vadio, and O'Reilly. And then you have Bernardo Silva, Gonzalez, and Phil Foden. Jeremy Doku, Erling Haaland, Ryan Cherky. So that's how it breaks down for Manchester City. Let me take your thoughts, Coach, on this one. So Man City, Liverpool, Man City, Newcastle, difficult.
And his slot is a confused manager. So look at what he's done. There's Salah. There's Eketike. There's Gakpo. There's, how do you call him? Chiesa. There's, now he's introduced that's
Rio Ngomoha.
Ogumoha. So virtually,
that's 3-0. That's 3-0. That was such a good burst into the box. Yeah. If this doesn't get them to fire you, they won't fire you for anything again. You are
Alisson is mad at everybody.
If you are being put to the sword by Nottingham Forest, Kwate looks disgusted.
You see, I was going to highlight the imbalance in the shape of the team.
Yep. When you were talking about the players,
the players and those they are virtually confused. Nobody knows which role he's supposed to fit in. You don't coach like this. I don't remember the last time again. So I saw such a thing.
That Morgan Gibbs tried getting into the box.
Yep. I think that Hutchinson gets into
Hutchinson.
the box.
Hutchinson was scored.
That was such a good bet.
Flat-footed. Yeah. Look at them. Look at the Liverpool. Look at Gakpo. All of them not ready to. You see, that was the second ball. Look at the freedom.
Andrew Robertson.
So if there's a proper balance,
the guy is quicker than him. He skinned him completely.
Force him to go on the outside.
Is Hutchinson left-footed?
He's left-footed.
He's left-footed.
So you force him to go on the. You see these
3-0
basic things.
At Anfield.
Yeah.
Manager Eder was sacking.
Yeah.
You know what?
Eder was sacking.
If this kind of results continue, for real.
Eder was sacking. Continue forward.
They might sack him.
See,
or December.
You lost 1-0 to Forest last season, and he made it look like it was an anomaly, which it was last season.
Because that goal was an anomaly.
And that was Liverpool's defeat, only defeat in like almost 18 or 19 fixtures. This season, they are back here. And you would have expected that you'd have been fired up to get revenge for the defeat last season. You are getting thumped by 3-0. Look, I don't think it gets any lower than this. I keep telling you guys. Look, as for relieving the manager, it's an emotional decision. Like, oh, are we not sacking him too early? Is he not the guy who won us the championship? Football needs to be separated from emotions, especially when it comes to these things. Especially since you will pay an slot a compensation when you are sacking him.
Play the way they are playing. Everybody is virtually dependent on his individual
brilliance.
Brilliant.
Yep.
The system.
That's when you know the manager is not doing his job.
Yeah, he's not doing his job because nobody is working within the system.
That's when you know the
just
manager is not doing
look
his
at
job.
it critically. You see that nobody is working within the system.
I know, but
Nobody.
But that's the things we're trying to point out in the misplacement of players too in playing different positions. That also does not help at all. And just throwing on all the attackers, hoping that somehow they connect and they create a goal. Being unable to take out the two least performing players in how they call it, in Gakpo and
You see, that's the thing. Slot doesn't think Gakpo is underperforming. That's what I keep telling you, and that's why I know that he's a bad manager. Like you should be honest with yourself as a coach and say that, look, this guy is not doing well. I need to reshuffle, and he's not doing those things. Like, he's almost acting like he's doing everything right, and results are not going well, and it's not his fault. That's how the manager is acting.
So, that's what I'm saying. That's the same way it's manifesting itself. It's almost like I need to keep doing the same thing and keep trying harder, and at some point it will make sense and all of this will click. And so far,
this is match day 12, no?
This is match day 12.
Yeah.
So
He's already lost 6 games, like I said. So now he's lost 6 games already this season.
6 games out of 12.
Yes.
Nah, they need to sack him. 6 games out of 12. What do you want to see again? By the time they will do 20 games, we'd have lost like 10 games. They need to fire him.
And this team is too good a team.
No,
to be going through what they are going through.
Way too good a team.
It's too good a team.
Yeah.
What?
Well, Fulham have scored in their game against Sunderland. Raul Jimenez with the goal in
Nice drive by Chiesa. He should be playing. Oh,
look at that.
Gakpo has not done this since. Look at Chiesa. Look at the aggression. Look at Chiesa. Look at him.
Meanwhile, there's Cody Gakpo wasting everybody's time. Anyway, Fulham are up by a goal to nil, so that's good news for them.
If you change this manager right now, Gakpo will be hot. Even Van Dijk himself will be hot. If you move away from that Dutch manager syndrome,
Van Dijk has spent
all of them will
he has spent all season blaming everybody in that back line but himself for Liverpool's shambolic defensive performances. He's always shouting at Kerkers, and half the time he's at fault. I'm not even sure what's going on with Liverpool, but honestly speaking, they need to do something, and they need to do it quickly, because this ain't it. This ain't it at all. Let's see if they can get. Can't even get
I mean, the 3-0 down going into the final 10 minutes, it will take a
they won't get anything from this game.
Crazy.
The least they can do is get like a goal to lift their spirits and like get something. No, it's true that 3-0 what I come to do. If in 83 minutes,
it's almost 84.
And they haven't played a shot on target.
Yes,
They've not had they've not
only
forced
one shot.
They
shot that.
Hazel saved
it was a feeble.
I mean, they had an attempt from the free kick, but it's not anything worthy.
Nothing worth mentioning.
Look
I
at
mean,
that
not
ball.
if it's not worth remembering. The
Look at that. He's using the back of the head to head the ball to the net.
Oh Lord have mercy.
Bring it on, Callum Hudson-Odoi. I don't know what.
It's the counter they want to happen.
Well, so far not great. 3-0. Liverpool losing at Anfield. Yeah, any thoughts on this one?
I was about to comment on the lineup we put out there. For
Manchester City.
And,
let's go to that
Newcastle
actually.
game. Yeah. Does Pep Guardiola really want to put out this midfield against this Newcastle team at St. James's Park? Yeah, if they can get a win, I'll be shocked.
What are his options?
Look, there isn't enough protection defensively for that defense, because you take out Nico Gonzalez, who is dropping deep to help out defensively.
Yeah.
When they're able to get past the first line of defense, because Ryan Cherky there's Ryan Cherky in the starting lineup.
Yep.
Phil Foden and Bernardo Silva.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Bernardo Silva now, I mean, he'll do his thing, help you out with possession and all, but when things get scrappy, he's a non-factor.
Facts.
And so, and things will get very scrappy when you are playing against this Newcastle team, especially at St. James's Park. And so that's where my concern is, that okay, would Phil Foden be the one to drop a bit deeper to help out defense, or to help Nico Gonzalez defensively? Would Bernardo Silva be the one to do so? And if he does so, then who is the one moving out to the right side and playing as an inverted winger? It will be either Bernardo Silva or Phil Foden. And those two, they've shown over the years that they are not too comfortable playing in that position. And so, and knowing very well that Matheus Nunes is trying his best, and he's really acquainted himself quite nicely at right full back, but he's not stretching any defense with his overlapping runs. So that's a bit of an odd fit or an odd pick. Having Sheki, Phil Foden, and Bernardo Silva all in that starting lineup, especially when there's Tijani Reinders. I appreciate the fact that yes, you've rotated the squad because of the international break, but if that's the idea, then how come Mamouche isn't starting? How come Mamouche isn't starting this game? I would have thought
Mamouche has been injured for a minute.
Yeah, he's been injured for a minute, but I would have thought that looking at the opposition that you are going to play, yes, having someone who is a bit of a wing forward, playing alongside Jeremy Doku on the opposite side will give you a bit of options. But I don't get the whole mix between Cherki, Foden, and Bernardo Silva in this midfield. Attacking standpoint, fine, but defensively, it's a bit of a mismatch in there. At least, even if you wanted to keep an inverted winger on that right side, there's Oscar Bob in there. So picking Bernardo Silva ahead of these guys, for me, it's a bit odd. And like I said, I'll be really surprised if Man City are able to get a win, looking at the kind of opposition that they are going to play and the selection that Pep Guardiola has put together.
Well, I think Brighton have taken the lead in their game against Brentford. Let me get the Jack Hazelwood is the goal scorer in this one. So it's 2-1 advantage Brighton. As for Nita Kide, I have no doubts that he will be raking it. By the time the World Cup rolls around, he will be on like a cool 12-15 goals. They will have major difficulty leaving him out.
You see what I was talking?
In that situation.
Everybody's watching him to work. Oh, look at Gakpo. Look.
You see what I'm saying that he does? That's all he does. So roll the ball, flick, roll.
And deliver like a square pass.
Come on, bro. Like, who can't read this? Like, oh man, come on. Like, why are you being like this? Anyway, he's about to play 90 minutes. That just tells you about the acumen of his manager. He's had a great game, so he needs to stay on the pitch. One of those legit goal scoring threats, according to his boss. So, very interesting. McAllister, meanwhile, it looks like he's in a lot of pain on the pitch. I don't think that's at this. He's bumped knees. That looks.
I'm even looking at his ankle.
That looks extremely painful. So there was a step on his ankle, and then he bumped knees with the guy as well. That is not a good look. Those are the kind of injuries that can have you out for multiple weeks. Hopefully, he's fine. He looks like he's okay. So that's Alexis McAllister. Barcelona, meanwhile, are wasting chances in their game against Bilbao. Should have been 4-0 up. But I remember Bilbao have a red card in that game, so they are also basically holding on to self-respect in that game, trying not to get blown out completely. It's 3-0 in that game. Liverpool are also down by 3 goals. It's 1 minute more to play in regulation time in that Liverpool encounter. Nana from Kwashiman says, as a fan of Grafenberg, when I brought up the issue of him overperforming last season, I was hammered by Liverpool fans, but I stated that as someone who watched him a lot and wanted him at United, I was incredibly surprised by him last season. Even he struggled under Klopp. I think that Grafenberg struggling under Klopp was an adjustment period. Slot, I think, used him well last season. This season, he's trying to do too much of him. Like I told you, there have been times when he had to pop in at centre back. They've tried to use him as a 6. They've used him as an 8. They've used him as a 10. They've used him as a shadow striker. I mean, you can't. You
at times as a centre back, like we are saying.
Yeah, I'm saying
he's one of the
you can only take on as much responsibility as a player, if your role keeps changing in one particular game to 3 or 4 roles in a game, you will get probably confused about what you're supposed to be doing for the team. So as for this team, I still insist that Liverpool need to go out there and buy a natural number 6. If they won't play Wataru Endo, they need to play, or they need to get a natural number 6. Forest are trying to compound Liverpool's woes. They are not done yet. Look at them, back heels in the box and everything. That's the sort of arrogance, confidence that's good. There's nothing Liverpool will do that will deter this Forest today. They know they have them where they want them. I think this performance will go down in Forest folklore. This will go down in Forest history. This is a big time performance at Anfield,
especially at this juncture of the season, and looking at the context that they are dealing with. If this happened last season, it would be a big deal, but it wouldn't be too much of a big deal
because they were doing really
well. Their form has been in tatters since the start of the season, and they've brought in a new manager, and this is the kind of result that they've been able to get away from home at Anfield of all places. Oof, massive
huge result for them. The Ginger Mourinho, aka Sean Dyche, just looking chill, like he's done nothing at all. Cool, calm and composed. Liverpool look like they want to get I would say a consolation goal at this point, something to uplift them. Let's see if it's possible. A good friend.
And I think one issue I've also identified with Liverpool's play is that they can't keep doing what. Yes, you mentioned Cody Gakpo, that what he keeps on doing, he's been doing it over the past year, so it's become predictable.
Very.
When you don't have a Mo Salah who is in dynamic physical shape as he was back in the day, and you have Cody Gakpo who is ultra predictable, the last thing you want to do is to continue to stick with this whole inverted wingers thing and play the ball always centrally and not necessarily try to whip in as many crosses as possible. When you do that, the teams are already opposing teams have already deployed enough men in the middle to deal with that threat. And so if you are not feeding, in the case of Cody Gakpo, if you are not feeding the overlap, the guy who does the overlap, you are playing it right into the game plan of the opposing team. Mo Salah doesn't also help out in this situation because most of the time he ignores the overlap. I don't know if it's because he doesn't trust the guys who have come in, be it Jeremy Frimpong, and knowing very well that his close ally Trent Alexander-Arnold is no longer there. So I don't know if he has to build trust with his new guys on that side of the pitch, and so he's also doing the Cody Gakpo things where he cuts in, he ignores the overlap, and he's walking right into a condensed area of the pitch. If you keep on doing that, you are not helping your situation, and so they should, as much as possible, try also to acknowledge the overlap and involve the fullbacks who advance up the pitch, who are willing to drop in some crosses into the box. That will also help out.
Well, so far we've given Liverpool,
but and a slot will also have to play a role in that, because at the end of the day, you are the coach. You can get them to switch. You can get them to switch.
The guy can't micromanage the game. I'm not sure if you can see it, but we've seen a lot of things here that I think are basic.
He's done a lot of changes, but to no effect.
Well, there's been a big decision. Brentford have missed a penalty against Brighton, so a chance to make it 2-2. They have blown it. The game between Fulham and Sunderland has ended. Fulham have taken all 3 points, 1-0. Bournemouth and West Ham has ended 2-2 is how it ended.
Whoa.
So West Ham, West Ham managed to blow that lead. I'll be giving you the goal scorers from that game in a bit. Wow, that I didn't see that coming. 2-2 is how that game has ended. So let me get you the game summary and show you who exactly got the goals. So Tavernier getting one of the goals, and I think it's Enes Unal. So Tavernier 69th minute penalty, Enes Unal 81st minute equalizer. So 2-2 is how that game ends between the two sides. So
this is also done.
it's also over between Liverpool and Forest. 3-0. Forest have scored 3 goals, taken 3 points, and have kept a clean sheet to boot. It gets no better than that. Let me take.
So that's back-to-back 3-0 defeats for Liverpool in the Premier League. So losing to Man City. Different types of opponents, but it looks like they are
6
putting out
goals,
the same.
none scored. 6 goals conceded, none scored.
Yeah, which is
very worrying.
Very worrying.
And in this game, they didn't fashion out any proper chance. That is
Not
the
even
in fact,
one
in fact,
decent
in fact that's the bigger worry for me in this game. Like, there are games where you create chances, you waste them, and say the quality of your finishing lets you down. This is not one of those games. This is not one of those games. The quality, you don't even have quality chances to talk about quality of finishing. So I think that what's he?
But I think another.
Oh no, he's acknowledging the fans.
I also think that there's a worry. Where do you think is this the man you trust with if you need to reinvest in January, given how much your squad has been? Is he the person you trust?
That's what I've been telling you, people, that you people are saying that it's too early to think about sacking the coach because it's not December.
I'm saying that I don't think. I'm saying based on the way they run the football club, I don't think they'll sack him. Me personally, I'm not backing him.
Well,
I had rumors of a club comeback, and I immediately parted ways with Slot. I was waiting for, but I don't think
Klopp wants to come back.
That's my point. I don't think the things that I envision to make the change. Any manager you'd want to come with, probably a manager who's already at a top club now. That means he'd probably also want a preseason.
Yeah.
At this time, there's not a lot you can do that's actually going to actively. You can get a bounce, you can get a manager to come in, but in terms of long term and offer them a contract, I don't think you get the manager you're looking for. I don't think that's the way Liverpool have operated
Xavi
so
Hernandez is there. He's unoccupied. Xavi Hernandez.
I'm not
a big fan.
I'm not that sold on Xavi.
If you look at what Slot is doing, he's been slaughtered left, right, center. Everybody is slaughtering the man.
Who are you a big fan
of? He's
of?
been taken to the butcher and they are slaughtering people there.
I want to hear his post game press.
Anfield slaughtered, away slaughtered, everywhere slaughtered.
Yeah.
I mean, look. Truth be told, if you were, for those who support Liverpool, none of them saw this coming. Not as in today's result, but nobody, even those of us who don't support the team, none of us saw Liverpool losing 6 in 12.
Yeah.
6 games.
Like even if you envisioned a Liverpool struggle,
but now maybe one draw or maybe 2
defeats
or 2 defeats.
Yeah.
But 6 defeats in 12.
Yeah.
Great.
Look, lose.
Last 7 Premier League.
They've won 1 in 7. Come on, this is
Before that they had won 5 in a row. That's why it looks.
This is
that
sackable.
5 in a row.
Those 5 in a row, and out of the 5 in a row, you're talking about 4 of those were late game winners. 4 out of 5 of those.
4 of these, the first 3 of these rounds, all 4 of the first games, they were gained by 1-0 margins. 2-1, 2-1. The Liverpool game, the Man United game, all last minute winners.
Yeah.
So
holding brief for the team.
You see, when is last minute
holding on to
you won games last minute.
Yeah.
The 5 wins, how many of them were last minute?
And that's the point I'm making.
And so
but that is what should tell you that this team is not good. If you need 4 game winners in 5 matches, you are not good. Like you are up by 2 goals, like 2 goals in a game, then all of a sudden you throw the 2 goal lead away, and then you are chasing a late game winner. Then you do it in a game after that, and a game after that. There's something clearly wrong with the team.
Something clearly wrong with the team. That I'm not going
to. It's I don't know, man.
And at this point, I think it has to be down to the manager now.
It has always been down to him. It has always been down to him.
People were saying the players needed time to adjust. And all that.
Which player needed time to adjust?
Look at Voltmada. Look at Voltmada at Newcastle. Just cooking. Just came in. No plenty pop. Just started cooking. Look at what Slot is making players who were on their way to being superstars look like absolute bumps. I'm not even joking. Like this is unacceptable. Anyway, that's our show for today. Thank you very much, Coach Christopher Nimley. Thank you, Jay Minter. Thank you, Manor. Thank you for the studio, Hans Daniel Squashy. Thanks to you guys for making time to watch on YouTube, guys, for joining us on Twitter and on radio and Channel 1 TV. Tomorrow we have a big game to serve you on the Republic of Football. Arsenal will host Tottenham Hotspur in the North London derby. That should be a good one. Until then, we'll see you. Enjoy.